If you are here in person supporting our athletes, thank you very much for joining us for this live event. I'm also addressing our online audience for tuning in to our live stream. They'll be slowly joining us over the course of this evening. Might be looking for this event to be starting more at 7, but we're live now. It's 6 o'clock start time for racing tonight. We're streaming on YouTube and Facebook live. You can find us on our socials through JB Velodrome. That's also our YouTube channel. You can search or look for the Jerry Baker Velodrome on Facebook. Streaming now. If you're in person and want to be able to share that, the most easy link you can probably get from here is to go to velodrome.org/live. Type that into your phone, and directly on that link, you'll be able to scroll down to the YouTube stream and share away to your heart's content. Post on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, and let folks know racing's happening here at the Velodrome so they can watch, tune in, support, and spread the good word about some great racing going on tonight. Saturday Night Racing, Session 3, coming at us here in about 7 more minutes.
All right, Corey, do you want to kill the music? We can kind of go over a few things and then get started.
That's
right
so
on
violent.
time.
All right, I'll kill it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Lower it. I don't know. All right, if you guys want to roll in here, 1-2s, if you want to kind of stop here, we'll give you a second. All right, there we go. Welcome back, everybody. It's Saturday. It's 6 o'clock. It feels really, really early. Thank you for being here. We're going to try to keep the schedule moving because we have lots of racing. So we're doing international Omniums. I'll have James explain that to you. A couple quick things. Yesterday, the masking back into the apron was less than stellar. So if you can stop on the back straight, put on your mask, and then roll in, or wait to the field, the staging to go out. That'd be fantastic. Let's try to do a better job at that. The crawl, when we do that, is masked because it's mixed field. It's going to start from the staging area and just go straight onto the track, and that is the crawl. There is cash for the crawl tonight in 2 positions, so there's a little bit more to go for. And those, what else? We're still having an auction. It ends, most of the items ends at noon tomorrow. The feature items ends at 2 o'clock. We'll send out a bunch of stuff. If you haven't checked it out, do so. There's some really great things. If you don't think you're going to win any items, please donate. This is our one major fundraiser, so it helps a lot. I think that is it. Anyone questions for me? And I'll hand it over to James. Awesome. James.
All right, this is an international Omnium tonight, so we're putting together a final set of points going into the points race. Now, one of the things to remember is each race will go toward your total of points, and the next race will have you line up in the order of the standings on the grid. One of the things to remember is that if you do not start a race, you're going to lose 30 points. So make sure you start all 4 races. And if you drop out rather than being pulled from a race, you'll lose 15, I think. So it's all managed through our spreadsheet as far as the points go, but you need to participate in each race. The elimination is the 3rd race in the set. And so as you're pulled out, we'll pull all the way down to the last 2, just like missing out. Okay. Whether you drop out or whether we pull you in a race, you're going to lose 15. So try to stay on the lead lap in the scratch and the tempo.
Cat 4s and juniors, you're looking at us like we're crazy. Cat 4s and juniors, you're racing a normal 3-race Omnium. This applies to the 3s, 1-2s, and women. So Cat 4s, you're in normal Omnium land.
So the whole goal is, as we go into the points race, you will have a points total, and the points race points will add on to that total, so we'll know who the winner of the 4-race contest is at the end. Okay, we're starting out today with the 1-2s.
Okay, I think we're about ready to start this thing. The only thing it looks like we may be missing that's critical is laps and bells. Other than that, I think we've got everything sorted out. Cat 1-2 men are the first field, so to the warm-up circle. Cat 1-2 men to the warm-up circle for the first race in the International Omnium. And everybody, welcome to the beginning of this program. It is Saturday Night Racing, session 3 of the kickoff. Here at the Velodrome, our riders have been participating in lots of racing this weekend. Great evening. Last night, we had several of our athletes show up for some time trials and a round-robin sprint tournament earlier today. And we round it all out with tonight's program. An International Omnium. This is going to be pretty fun for 3 of our groups tonight. That's where we're going to be watching their progress through 3 races and then culminating it in a super finish of a points race where we look at how well they've done. In all the races before, they'll come in with a certain number of points based on that performance. So this first race here will be the first step in tabulating all those totals for our riders throughout the International Omnium tonight. First up, we have scratch races. So our Cat 1-2s are getting queued up for that. We're taking a couple steps to make sure we have our laps and bells sorted out. Up next will be the women for their scratch race, their first step in the Omnium.
This is the hour, the darkest place. Dante's Inferno, the devil's maze. It's a good world gone bad.
All right, Cat 1, 2 men, you are going to be doing a 12-lap scratch race. I'm going to roll you neutral from the rail. I'll start you in turn 4 with the whistle. As long as you are all together, you can go ahead and remove your mask. Andy, do you have a question? Sorry. I did say from the rail. I'm going to roll you neutral from here. I'll start you in turn 4 with the whistle. No, I'm used to saying from the rail. Okay, go ahead and roll out.
All right, coming onto the track, our first field now in the neutral for step 1. The scratch race for the International Omnium getting kicked off here. So in the neutral here, our riders will be riding together and given the signal to start if they are all in contact and ready to start with nobody getting an unfair advantage. Looking like we're pretty well set for that. It'll be our officials to give the whistle, and that sound is the signal to our riders it's time to go. Andy Baker, the man of the first lap. It's bib number 4. Off and away to start this thing off. So scratch racing is a race to the finish line. It just means we give them a number of laps, a scratch distance, so to speak, and then once they get through it all, whoever's the first rider across the line wins. In this case, we're culminating points up throughout here, so if you finish at the front, you get more points for the International Omnium than if you finish further back, obviously. So we're incentivizing each step along the way tonight. There's certainly also the incentive for a rider just to do well in one race. That's not going to be out of some of these riders' minds. Some are going to be aiming for a victory at the end of the night, being on top of this International Omnium. Others will just enjoy if they can pick up a victory or two at any of these individual events. Not something we do very often, but for a fun special event here on a rare weekend of racing, for us, we figured let's throw in a fun format. The International Omnium. So this will be fun to watch. At 10 to go, it's going to be Vern Cole now taking his turn. Giving room for Kenny Williams, bib number 2. One guidepost you can use, it's a little bit outdated because we didn't race last year, but from 2 seasons ago, our riders that have very low numbers tended to finish at the top of the season points for some of these fields. So if you see some low numbers out there, it may be because they reserved those numbers based on their finishing position in the overall season points in 2019. So kind of a fun little thing to look for. So you see those single digit numbers. You can kind of get an idea of some of the riders that have shown previously strong seasons. That's not to say that there aren't plenty of other competitors that have come here this year and ready to show their stuff. In a scratch race like this, not a terribly long event. It's under that 20 or so lap sort of breaking point where I figure when you get above 20 laps or so at this track, it starts getting to be a bit more of an endurance event. For these guys at under 12 laps, it's going to be not too far of a race. So who's going to be the ones that we're going to have to keep our eye on is generally going to be the fastest finishers, because as long as they can be in the middle of this pack and not do too much work at the front, this is going to be a sprinter's game. It's going to be a high-speed finish and event, and that's going to be the riders that are going to want to take advantage of this scratch race, this kind of length, this type of event. Later, we'll see rides that are going to be even faster tempo because we're going to be incentivizing each lap with points. This one is just kind of rolling. It's rolling at a good speed, but you don't see a whole lot of overexertion on these early laps. At 7 to go, the field certainly in fast formation, stretched out, and everyone trying to find that draft to get into. Mike Darlene in the blue pulls to the right. Two of our Liquid Velo riders coming to the front. John Bowie, the rider in black and green at the very front, has been showing some great strength early in the season. He's got bib number 3. Not only fast finisher, but he's been showing the endurance too. So he's going to be doing some work tonight. He's certainly somebody to keep your eye on based on what we saw yesterday. John Butler in the black and purple will take that lead spot. He's wearing bib number 24, now at the front spot. Has been trying to be active off the front of these fields. Time is going to be getting ahead of us here a little bit. We're talking about this race, and already this field's counted it down to 5 laps to go. So there's not a ton of time left for any breakaway action or any sort of early attacks to form here. It's going to be over before you know it. Nick Martinez says, yeah, I'll keep it quick. The rider in the white and blue having a great effort today in the 4K. He's ridden some laps today for sure. A 4-kilometer solo effort in the time trials today under 5 minutes. So he was working hard earlier today and still back out here racing in our Omnium field. Now we start to, here you can see we've made it past the fastest laps before the fastest of all, the sprint lap upcoming. So now riders are kind of going a little bit wide. Now it's about positioning, waiting to see who might kind of start moving into that lead spot. You want to be near the front, but not the front when you're coming into a sprint. So everybody's trying to kind of plan ahead a few steps, think ahead on where everyone's going to want to go. What wheel do I want to follow? Who am I watching in the middle of all this craziness? Another rider to watch coming to the front here, Baker, has been active and had some great sprints as well, even showing some great dominance in this early season. Bib number 4. Nolan Adams right on his wheel, also looking pretty quick. We're going to watch him as he slides right out of the way. He doesn't want the effort at the front. He's looking more to find somebody to be on a wheel and get him at the line. And that's when Butler will start to go a little early. As I mentioned, he likes to try to get a little ahead of this thing. He tries to kick up the action on the back straight before the rest of the field is engaged. He brings with him 4 or 5 riders, but this is a tiny opening he's found. That space between him and the chasing field is not going to be enough to get away from them. It looks like they're basically on their heels. 2 to go. He's not done yet. He says, I got to keep trying. I got to get this thing going. He is not going to stop this train for nobody. So every time that they start to kind of slow back down, you say, nope, 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 we got to go, go, go. Butler back on the move. This is the setup and the prequel now to the Bell Lap. It's been Butler off the front a couple laps in a row. Where will he end up here in the middle of this crazy sprint upcoming? It's 1 to go. The field's all together. Butler leaning it out. Stephen Wilson's number 25, also a fast finisher. He has shown some incredible speed. He's right there at the front of the main field. Nolan Adams called him out earlier. Look in the middle of the field, though. The movement's going to come from 4 or 5 riders back. Watch the rider with the white helmet coming to the front. It's going to be Baker moving out of the field and finding some space coming down that line. And guess who else is coming in? We called him out earlier. It's going to be John Bowie finding a position. Here comes Baker out of the turn. Baker at the front. Bowie trying to come in on a Baker. Holding it on. It'll be Baker and Bowie going 1-2. Wilson's holds on for the 3rd place finish, I believe. A nice maneuver from the middle of the field for our rider in the white, Andy Baker. Bowie just needed a few more feet. He might have found that lead spot. Nicely done for that exciting and very fast scratch race.
Okay, ladies, you are going to be doing a 10-lap scratch race. Again, I'm going to roll you neutral from the start grid. If you're all together, I will start you with a whistle in turn 4. And if the Cat 1-2 men could move on to the apron, we can start the next race.
Women competitors about to come out. Cat 3 men, you are up next for your scratch race. Cat 3 men are next. Our women competitors coming onto the track for the first step in their international Omnium. It's a 10-lap scratch. Once again, these races are part of the long story of the international Omnium. We got a, looks like a rider down, trying to get back into it. We'll get him around on the second lap, it looks like.
Okay, you're going to roll around a couple more times. Had a little mishap as you rolled out.
All right, so maintaining the neutral. Maintain the neutral. Thank you. Little mishap caused by a mechanical failure on one of the bikes, so we'll get the rider all situated and back out into the field. Good use of the neutral here. A good reminder that, again, we are online and doing some cool stuff here. You can find the stream right now at velodrome.org/live to be able to get the YouTube stream that is up and running currently. Share that with friends and family and let them know that we got some great racing going on here at the Velodrome. You can also see the results there. The current race program is also posted on that little link. So velodrome.org/live is pretty easy to get to. Most importantly for this weekend, of course, that auction that Amara mentioned during our little rider meeting is ongoing, and the link for that is at the top of that velodrome.org/live page. So you haven't had a chance yet to sign up and look in where the heck is this thing. That's probably your easiest way to get there.
We also need the last 6 places from the men's scratch race report to the officials podium.
I'll repeat that. It's the last 6 places or so from the men's 1-2 scratch to report to the official stand for some confirmations. Thank you. Looks like all of our competitors are back up on the bikes and ready to go. Got a good chance there to see the hardware as our women competitors are rolling around near the rail. Yes, we ride on bikes without brakes, fixed gear bikes, no shifting, no braking here at the track. And you think that sounds unsafe and kind of crazy. Well, actually, it's remarkably safer than you might think. Get rid of the brakes and that temptation to tap on them. You've been in bad traffic before when you have that tendency to hit the brake a little bit too much. That sort of reaction's taken away here. It's much more predictable. Riders learn to read body language and move predictably and safely. It's really something about this type of racing style that ends up being safer for our athletes overall, thanks to the type of racing that they do and the type of machines that we use. Having spent a fair amount of time on a road bike, if you haven't been on a fixie like these guys are on right now, our competitors out here on the track, well, you should give it a try. We actually have a try the track for adults that you can get one of our fixies out, a track bike specifically designed to be out here on our facility, rolling around at the Velodrome with the help of some of our staff. You get an hour of fun with them and get a sense of what it's like. They'll talk a little bit about what it's like to race, but it's mostly just focused on experiencing riding the Velodrome with a little bit of help from our people. You can sign up for that online at velodrome.org. Hit that education tab and click the adult classes. You'll find more information there. Seeing 9 to go for our women's field. This is their first event in the International Omnium. A little bit delayed for a couple laps of neutral. We got everything sorted out. And now we're off and we're rolling. John Butler, Vern Cole, and Eric Waterman, please, to the official stand. Thank you. Seven to go for our women competitors. Kelly Darlene, you can see her from a half mile away with the neon handlebars matching that helmet. Bib 101, that's right. Top of the field 2 years ago for our women's competitors, and back again for more racing here in 2021. Annette Williams takes the front spot currently. So in our lineup, riders right now are taking the front spot sort of out of an etiquette of this pace line formation that you see. So we keep this momentum going for the field by taking their 200-meter turns. Nobody wants to take too long of a pole out here. Slightly breezy conditions. Everyone wants to find a wheel to get on. 6 to go. Edwards will make room for Scoville, one of our junior competitors. The Jerry Baker Velodrome is now working in sponsorship and in close working with a group of juniors and adults for a new junior team that has been started up in the past couple of years, the Jerry Baker Junior Squad. And Danny's sporting the colors of the black and blue team. You'll see several of those competitors out here tonight. And our field's still together as they go to the Stanley sign, turn 3. That's right, Stanley, the same folks that made your classic thermos are still around making fantastic products, and they've become one of our good partners, helping us get some fantastic sponsored and branded gear. Our thanks to Stanley, a local company in Seattle, producing fantastic products for keeping your beverages nice and cold or hot, depending on what you're using them for. On the back straight, all straightened out here still. Riders taking their turns. It's Kelly again at the front. Darlene making room for Edwards. Mark Edwards in the colors of the Greg Cycles team. Three to go, getting down to it. This will be those last couple of opportunities for riders to start kind of positioning themselves here at about the last lap of that timing before things are going to be really cooking at top speed. This is the time for Cat 3s to be on the warm-up circle. If you're not already, Cat 3 men up shortly. Just saw 2 to go, so this is that last opportunity. Riders now getting into their position. As you see that, positioning more important than speed, so everyone's slowed down a little bit as they're kind of vying for a spot. And now really bunched up coming into turn 3. This is about to open up in a second as somebody's going to take the first move, probably around the time we hear that bell. Alexander McGlockery down in the sprinter's lane as the bell's going wild. Here we go. 4 across the track. Edwards feels committed to take the sprinter's lane, and she'll get down into that spot. She leads the lap coming through turn 1. Edwards doing just enough work to stay at the front, not in full sprint mode, looking over the right-hand shoulder saying, come get me, come get me. When it's time, she'll get up and out of the saddle and move into top speed. Who's going to take the bait? It's going to be Kelly Darlene, looking real fast here at the beginning of the season. Darlene accelerating nicely into turn 3, going shoulder to shoulder with Coach. Annette Williams trying to find a spot there as well. Edwards doesn't want to give up the front spot. Edwards, Williams, and Scoville incoming. Whoa! Scoville almost got there. Woo! The junior with some big turn of speed there at the end. I thought we were going to see Edwards, Darlene, and Williams coming in at the top 3 spots, but Scoville flying in like a rocket picks up one of those spots, I believe second across the line, if I'm not mistaken. Williams, I think, our winner. Those calls are unofficial. We'll have the officials are now reviewing and conferring with themselves. We're about to start the next race, and I'll get them started. We'll let our officials get our Cat 3s started. On deck is the juniors for their scratch race.
Okay, Cat 3 men, you are going to be going out for a 10-lap scratch race. I'm going to start you neutral from the start grid. If you're all together, I'll start you with a whistle. In turn 4, you can go ahead and remove your mask.
All right, on to the neutral we go for the Cat 3 men. I see a couple of you out there on YouTube interacting. I wanted to call out Rob Peasley for always being such a positive voice here for us on the JBMV online presence. Good to see you, Rob. Galen's asking some interesting questions about the total square footage of the track as compared to Burnaby. That's an interesting question. I don't know. It's like the same interior square footage of a high school track. It's pretty big. You can fit a football field basically in here. So it's a pretty big field for sure. Lots of room out here to spread out and have some pretty big events going on inside of our track. And of course, the warm-up circle, pretty sizable as well over there on the far side from where we are. Our field currently on the track is the Category 3 men, and they are racing in their first race for the International Omnium. It is the scratch race. 10 laps on the lap cards. The first step in their journey to see who will pick up a victory tonight in that big International Omnium. On deck is our juniors. Our last scratch race will be the Cat 4 men. And the whistle says time to race. Peter Snoblin will take the front position immediately at 10 to go. Everyone, pleased to find a wheel behind Snoblin on this first lap. Will line themselves up behind his good effort to start off the race. If you'd like to know more about the sport, or maybe you've been watching this and thinking, man, it might be fun to actually try really learning more about racing. We have 2 courses available for folks to get started out here at the Velodrome. We really do pride ourselves on being not about great racing only. We're also trying to be a hub for education and supporting the sport as a whole. So we have an adult class you can take. There are several different dates that are offered, but they are essentially 4-hour programs for you to come and use one of our track bikes. It's included in the fee. It's a $40 charge that includes that track bike. We'll get you out here, teach you the rules of racing, and we even do some simulated racing things so you can kind of feel what that's like. Learn about the lines on the track, about the safety that goes behind the racing, some of the different formats, some of the tactics. We kind of go through all those things to get you started. We also have a junior camp where you can actually enroll a camp registrant for an entire week. You get dropped off for a couple hours each day during that week, and during that time, we get them on a track bike. Once again, we have the bikes for them here and teach them the basics. We do some fun bike handling stuff. We do some simulated racing stuff. We give them confidence and skills on the bike so they can get out here and start racing. There's junior racing at the track. In fact, even for the youngsters down to 9 and 10 years old, we have a place for them to come out on Monday nights in particular. That's the Focus Junior program evening, is Monday night racing. So if you know a little rascal that needs something extra to do during the summer months, we got a good place to burn some calories. Cat 3 is looking, again, very efficient. They're in this paceline format. We say paceline because the main goal here is to share the workload. No riders really being shedded at this point, as there's kind of this group mentality of keep the speed at a good clip. Let's keep it rolling. 6 to go. The interest is not in trying to lose the riders as much as just move it towards that final couple of laps where the real stuff is going to be unwinding. This is almost kind of like the warm-up as everybody's getting into position and feeling it out and kind of getting ready for those final laps. One of our juniors showing a lot of strength. Someone to watch in the sprint if he's in good position. Carl Pratis moving up to the middle of the track. Rider with that black helmet and the blue and black kit. Moving well to the back of the field now. Gene Wainwright moves to the right. Chris Wilson, the rider in green for Fountain Cycling. That rider there is Isaac Jurassic for Liquid Velo, black and green. Doesn't spend too long at the front, leaving room for Kaiser, one of the Jerry Baker Juniors, to take the lead spot. Riders that are going to start getting a little selfish here, starting to think about that sprint, are not going to want to stay on the front for too long. So if they think they've got the finishing speed, they're going to try to play it conservative a little bit. They're going to be falling into position within the field and not trying to do too much work off the front. John Levi pulls up and out of the way. The rider in the black with the white frame. Been riding really fast early in this season. Spent a stint in the Cat 4s before he joined our Category 3 riders here. 3 to go. Snoblin says, I'm going to kickstart things a little bit, as he's like to do. Number 316 comes to the front. That's Chris Lind, hometown of Portland. Making a showing there with that yellow helmet at the front. Brown cycling again at the front. 2 to go. The dark green on his wheel. Liquid Velo will likely be taking the front position here shortly. But he decides to follow the wheel. So you can see this is a bit of a marking here. And Wilson is aware of it. So Jurassic kind of watching where Chris is at in the field. He's trying to do what he can to stay with him now, as it looks like David Branson, the third rider in that lineup for Apex Racing, is kind of forming a bit of a bridge between the two of them. Chris Wilson moves up track, as does Peter Snoblin, the current race leader in the white for Airtech Racing. And here we go. Rider's got to be in spot. It's 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go. At the final lap, Chris Wilson's got the space to go left. The junior's been following him. Bit of cat and mouse here. And they're just away from this field. It's going to be a big effort for anybody else to catch on to it. It looks like Henry Kaiser says, I think I might have enough to do this. He's going to try to make the move up there. Look at the speed of Kaiser. It won't be enough, though. That's a big gap to close. Isaac Jurassic playing this very well. We'll just take on the big sprint here at the end. Chris Wilson will still find second place for this great effort. Kaiser, whoa! Levi. He just didn't get that started early enough. He might have picked up the third place there, but Levi, I think, not there in time for the third place finish. Still will finish well at fourth. Those placings still count for a lot. They'll help with the International Omnium later. Cat 4s are the next field up after the juniors. So Cat 4s, you are on deck for the next race. We have a 6-lap scratch race for our juniors about ready to start.
Okay, juniors, you are going to be rolling out for a 6-lap scratch race. You guys are not part of the International Omnium. You're just 3 individual events for tonight with an overall Omnium. I'm going to roll you out neutral from the start grid. If you're all together, I will start you with a whistle in turn 4. Go ahead and roll out.
All right, our young riders here, the junior field, made up of some of our younger competitors today. Not an international Omnium. We'll call this just the standard Omnium. That just means 3 races. We'll kind of just track the results in each one of them, and at the end of the night, we see who did best overall and put them on a podium and say, great job for your awesome racing today. And really with our juniors, it's more about, let's be honest, it's about having fun and being safe as we teach them the way of being out here and competing. We're proud of our junior competitors. We've got an amazing community of young riders and supporting parents around them. If you haven't found a field to cheer for, this is the one. They're up along the rail and about to get the whistle. Let's give them some help on this first lap. Here comes our juniors. Put your hands together for the kids. Here we go. 6 laps. Indigo is going to take lap number 1. And he wants to get this thing rolling right away. Nicely done. No need to wait here. All right, let's see where we are at. What's the damage after one fast lap? Rue Tomko taking that lead lap. They pull up and out of the way and give room to someone else to take the lead spot. As again, you don't want to be in the front for too long here, but nice pace set from our front 4 as they'll now try to be coached to work together a little bit and try to maintain this pace cooperatively, most likely. Coming up, they'll be seeing 3 to go. Here's our lead group coming through into the home straight. Rue doing a lot of the work here. Nicely done as they keep the pace fast. 2:01 is going to be Bella. She pulls up quickly and tries to find a wheel to be on. Indigo now at the front spot. Our group of 3 here could come together shortly under the Broadmark sign, I think. And now again, the coach mindset is everyone needs to compete. So we've got 2 fields and they can be sprinting against each other. There's zero reason why this can't be 2 competitions happening on the track right now. So we got a group of 4. That'll be our first one we're keeping our eyes on. And then our second field will be coming into view on the home straight behind them. That's going to be Logan at the front, wearing the white and blue 515, mating into this group of 4. They saw 2 to go at that point. Two to go. Sadie Evans is the rider at bib 502. Right behind her, Milla is bib 202. And there's our bell. It's 1 to go. Bunched up together here at the finish line. Next time around, we'll find out our winner out of the junior field. Rue looking over the left shoulder, looking for a move. Down at the bottom, it's going to be Logan still in the shortest way around the track. Getting the bell for our second field here. The sprint is on. Milla gets to the front. Bella, the sister, immediately behind her now, trying to hold on to this big move. Here comes the sprint for our front field. Coming out of the turn. Oh, who's going to find the front position? It's going to be all over the place. Indigo trying to find enough speed to get it. Indigo will find enough to finish it off. Bella second there, and I think Rue, our third rider, across the line. Great racing there. And here comes our second field. Nicely done. Milla coming out of our back sprint, doing an excellent job. Grace Evans and Sadie Evans will round out the second field and do a fantastic race here today in their scratch effort. Well done. Cat 4 men are up. On deck is going to be the Marymoor crawl. That's open. Marymoor crawl is on deck.
All right, Cat 4 men, I'm going to roll you out for an 8-lap scratch race. Again, you guys are not part of the International Omnium. You're just doing 3 individual races for an overall Omnium. I'll roll you neutral from the start grid. I will start you in turn 4 with a whistle as long as you're all together. You can go ahead and remove your mask. All right, Cat 4 men, roll out.
Cat 4 men, 8 laps. This has been a fun field to watch early in the season. There's a lot of youth in this field as there are several juniors that compete both from the Jerry Baker team. We have one of our Liquid fellow competitors in the mix as well, and there are plenty of new faces as well in this group. And it's been a great early season for them. Really fun to watch, so very competitive. I say that all now as I set up great expectations. You know what they say about that. Currently in the neutral, we'll start them out of turn 4 as long as they stay together. Velodrome.org/live. Keep up with the results as they get posted. That's immediately below the schedule that's posted there, as well as a link to the live stream in case you want to be able to share that. If you're enjoying yourself on the live stream, you think this is an okay job that we're doing here, trying to bring the sport to more viewers, leave us a thumbs up on this video. And you know what would really help us is if you subscribe and then share this to somebody, let them know that the Velodrome up here in Redmond is doing pretty cool stuff. There's the whistle. Cat 4s waiting to race. I'm just teasing. They're starting to get up to speed, but right now waiting for the first rider to make the first move. It's been a long weekend. Some of these riders, again, were out this morning competing in time trials. We had a very action-packed program last night for these competitors as well. So our athletes doing a lot of work this weekend. You'll see the next race is going to be, for some of our fields, is going to really be incentivizing being at the lead of the lap. We're going to be doing some international tempos. And then another one that in a different way will incentivize speed throughout the race, the unknown scratch coming up later, where riders don't know when the race ends. Both formats do tend to push the pace a little bit. 7 to go as James Campbell Harris, I'll now formally and friendlily call him Top Gun, moves to the front of the field. I don't think he or anybody could complain about that nickname. Seeing 6 to go. Parker Stanford at the front. There's that Jerry Baker Jr.'s colors. Stan Douglas moving into position will find some room to his right. At 5 to go, Mike Ritter looks to be testing the waters. I say that because he hasn't made the full commitment down that sprinter's lane. He's like waiting for somebody to take a bite. He decides the bait ain't working. I'm going to pull this line back up and try again later. He does push the field to accelerate slightly. Zach Jurassic finds himself at the front, one of our Liquid Velo competitors in black and green. Team affiliation more about organization outside of racing than it is during the race. So you'll see riders on the same team. There are actually rules written into the racing structure that says we're not doing a team race when we're out here on the track. So riders are competing individually. But outside of racing, it's an important part of the organizational structures and communities that our racers have formed. So their team membership and the sponsorships behind them do form an important part of the fabric of this community. Riders kind of setting themselves up here. They know it's 3 to go, and so now they're starting to, again, you see this wide formation. It's all about positioning now. Not about efficiency, not about getting in behind a wheel. It's about moving into your spot, getting just enough work to be up near the front and find a wheel that you think you can be on. With this many riders, if you're not in about the front 5 or 6, you're not going to have a guaranteed lane to make a move. So you can even see a couple riders already starting to reposition themselves all the way from the back as they know they're coming into the 2 to go. Rather than seeing the revolving door at the front, you're seeing it more kind of in the middle and the back of the field as riders are just kind of finding a spot, wanting to change a wheel, get in a new position. At 2 to go, I see 2 Liquid Velo riders. Zach at the blue line is the front wedge of this shape here. As the riders come through turns 1 and 2, they are wide across this track. Nobody wants to go at full clip yet. There we go. Here he's going to get things up to speed. It's going to be Mike Ritter for Dino Racing. We were waiting for it. Who's going to take the first bite? And, of course, Mike's feeling good tonight, so off we go at 1 to go. Ritter opens up a big attack here. Can he get away from the field? He's already all chips out on the table. There is no coming back from this move. If he gets caught, he is going to be gassed at that point. So he has to go, and he has to go hard now. Down the back straight, he still has about 175 meters to go. The pack closing in. Here comes Itai Malikoff. Oh, Ben Jurassic trying to come. Here comes Mike Ritter. Can he hold off the charge? Dino Racing giving him some help, putting their hands together for Mike Ritter. Can he hold on? Ritter! Oh! Itai Malikoff for the juniors finds it just barely. Ritter, what a great move. He needed just another bike length of time there. Woo! That was fun. Itai, I think, found it in the middle of all that stuff. Fun. Ben Jurassic getting up in there in the front of that sprint. think I saw Chris Wilson near the front of the action, if I'm not mistaken. Exciting finish. I told you these guys make it fun. They delivered. Put your hands together one more time for all competitors in the scratch race. Nice job to the Cat 4s. Thank you. Excellent racing. Hey, we're going to do the crawl, so we're going to do our fun novelty race here. We'll wait for you, JC. Don't worry. This race has got your name written on it. Come on into the warm-up circle if you'd like to race the crawl. There is money. How many positions? 3 deep? 2 deep. 2 deep. Money, money, money. You'll see what the crawl's about in just a moment here. Open crawl. Competitors may head to the warm-up circle to join us for the fun.
Okay, for the crawl participants, going to roll you neutral from the start grid. You're going to roll out. As you know, you cannot cross the start line until the bell rings. At that point, you're racing a 1-lap race. Cannot put a foot down, can't touch the rail. Because we're running a mixed field with this, you have to race masked up. Okay, go ahead and roll out.
All right, so in this race, riders cannot cross this finish line up here until the bell's ringing, and the only person that knows that is Lou over here on the bells. He's the guy with all the power. Once the bell is ringing, then riders can cross the finish line. Before that, they must stay behind there under their own power. They have to stay upright. They cannot use anything else to assist in this job. So riders are going to use their own power. The backpedaling of the fixed gear bikes allow them to do these track stands. If you put a foot down, if you rest on another rider, you go off the racing surface, you are eliminated. If you make it through the elimination process and hear the bell, then it's a 1-lap race for the finish. The slowest single lap in all of track racing, the Marymoor Crawl, starting right here in what was once Marymoor Velodrome. The juniors love this one, so you're going to see a lot of black and blue out here. JC moving right up to the front. Does he have enough fortitude to hold right at the line? He's going to do what he can to do it, that's for sure. Looks like Isaac Jurassic moving into position as well. I see Will Fowler, Joe Oden, all these juniors trying to crowd the front. Yeah, that's right. Running out of room. And there's our exit to the left and out. Joe Spranger showing off the track stand. Talents we all know financially he can do. For those of you that remember. The no hands move. That's pretty risky. There's a lot of riders still in here, and it's a anyone's get. Oh, come on, Logan. Oh, nice. Good moves. Yeah, good moves, JC. It's okay. There's always next time. And no bell. Come on, ring the darn thing. How much longer we got to do this? Down to 6. Can we hold on? Waterman ready to take this one. The one lap race, the chariot race. But you got to make it through the balancing act first. Joe's just been like a statue over here. He hasn't like shifted. He's in the good position. Will Fowler showing off his moves too. He's been up here for quite a while. Bib 444. Going nowhere fast. Man, down to 6. This is a long one. The suspense building. Eric's still in it. Look at this. Oh, man. This is pretty long. I think I don't know if I've seen this long of one for a while. Yeah, this is feeling long. I'm just letting you know that. If you feel like it's long, you're validated. Come on, there it is! Oh! You gotta be kidding me how long those guys are up. They're like, thank goodness we can finally get all this build out of our legs. That's what it was. Oh, man. All right, one lap of scratch racing here. Oh! Is that Henry? He's not wearing the orange helmet, I can't tell. Kaiser the Laser, not wearing the orange branding, but boy, he's going to pick up the cash today. Boom! Nice moves. And Waterman for Dyna Racing will be the top 2. Fun stuff. The Marymoor crawl, everybody. All right. International Omnium steps coming up here shortly. All right. So, as a reminder, the international tempo does have 2 laps without points. I should say a point, as this race is only 1 point to the leader. But there are 2 laps at the front of the race, no points. You'll get a bell after 2, signaling that we begin to give the points out on the next lap all the way to the end. 1 point on every lap, including the last. International tempo upcoming.
All right, Cat 1, 2 men, you're going to be going out for a 15-lap International Omnium. I'm going to roll you neutral from the start grid. I will start you with the whistle in turn 4 as long as you're all together. After I blow the whistle, you will go 2 full laps before you get a bell. After the bell, there's 1 point for the person who finishes each lap in first place. What's that? No, it's International Omnium, only 1 point. That's okay, we all thought that same thing. It's been a while since we raced. All right, Cat 1 men, go ahead and move your mask and roll out.
All right, the International Omnium just about to exit the neutral here for our Cat 1-2 men. And the whistle sounded. 2 laps without a point at the front. You'll hear a bell signaling the first lap with a point. Who's got the early target on the back? Number 4, he's at the front. He's the winner of the first race and therefore the overall leader in the International Omnium, Andy Baker. We got a target on his back and actually a camera too. So if you're watching the stream, you can get a view from the Andy cam during the Cat 1-2 racing. We'll also be adding a few more of those throughout the night so you can get some great in middle of the action race views you can only get by turning into the stream. A big thanks to our community, by the way, for helping make that all possible. Some great donation efforts at the last push of 2020 to support some big improvements to our rental fleet. And of course, with the live stream equipment, we have benefited greatly from our community in so many ways. Thank you for everything that you have given in the last couple of years to keep this thing improving and building here at the track. Next lap, first rider will get 1 point. So off we go. Every lap from here, at 13 to go, the first rider will get a point. So you got to just keep going quick. It's called the tempo for a reason. The tempo is going to be really fast. Martinez has been really cooking here in the early season. He's the rider in the white, trying to find an early point before this thing gets too blown apart. Oh, Nolan says, I got fresh legs. Let's get a point. Nolan Adams for 1. All right, so our early race leader, Nolan Adams, is well in the middle of the field as Brando, the Mando, looking around. It's number 6. Brando picks up a point. A tie at the front of this thing for number 6, Brando Russell, the rider out of Fountain Cycling Guild. He's tied with Nolan Adams for Dyna Racing, and you can see the pink jersey pretty far back in the field now. But in a race like this, if you get a point, you're doing well. If you can get 2 or 3, you're doing really good. It's hard to get points in these races. You got to stay on top of it. No time to recover. It's just constant sprinting action. Baker trying to work it from the front, and I don't know if he's going to quite get this one. Oh, 21 is called for the point. Culp, the beneficiary of a point there, makes a 3-way tie scenario of 3 riders each with 1. Culp coming up from Portland to compete here this weekend, making the long drive up I-5 to join us here in Redmond. Emmett gets another point. That'll give him the solo lead, the first rider to find 2 so far. Any ties and points are broken by position on the final sprint. So if you have multiple riders with no points, you'll break the ties by how they finish at the end. If you got a tie at the top too, same thing. Got to break it somehow, and we'll do that in the way they finish their sprint order. So it can get a little bit chaotic and crazy depending on the way the points are. John Bowie making an appearance here. Looking to see who's going to respond. It's nobody yet. Bowie, and he sees Wilson's on his tail, but it's going to be Bowie with the lone point there. He moves into a three-way tie between Russell, Adams, and himself. 1 point to each of those riders. 2 to Emmett Culp, our only rider with 2 and in the lead. Culp is the rider in blue with the red bike. He's currently 5th rider in the front of the field. The front field is this group just now coming out of the turn. They are a main group of riders, it looks like. Chasing riders behind them, trying to hold on to this very fast speed of the front group. Baker will find his way to the front for his first point. Baker, number 4. Culp finds an opening to take the sprinter's lane as there's a little bit of action up by the blue line, and he'll just kind of spot his way in there, but so will a couple of other riders. So many riders still, even in this front group, this fast group of 6 or 7 that haven't found a point yet. This is one of them, Stephen Wilson's. By the way, Amara, I need to confer with you and make sure, but I think the Shark may have broken a master track record for us this morning. There's some conversation about that. It's a 109 was the previous record, a 109.6, and I think he pulled into 109.7 or 5 or somewhere in that range. We needed to confer and double check. I'd love to announce that tonight during our program and congratulate him on that. Group of 7 on the back straight. The main field is the lead of the race, and right behind them in the chase, we've got a group of 6 that have been very stubborn not to give up on this very quick front group here. At 4 to go. Whoa! My eye says Baker. Yeah, and it's going to be called as Baker from the officials. Nice sprint for the point there. Culp, Russell, and Baker all have 2 points apiece coming into that sprint, but now Baker picking up another will have 3 in the lone lead of this race with only 3 laps remaining. At 2 to go, Baker will pick up another as he's going to really get into his zone now. It's all about being efficient and consistent. Baker finds himself alone in the lead with 4 points. 2 riders with 2 is Russell and Culp. A couple riders with 1 point chasing behind that. They'll be tied for 4th place. But right now we're going to see if anybody can dethrone Baker as he gets the 1 to go. Baker gets the 1 to go, and likely the win of this race after he gets 5 points. He can't be caught on this final sprint by any of the riders. Bowie leading the field out here. He pulls up to the right, gives up the chase before he finds himself leading all the way around the track. It's still Baker at the front, maybe finding 1 more point for this great effort off the front of this race. If he just slow down a little bit, we might get a great view on the camera of this sprint, but he's going pretty fast here. He wants to get 1 more point. Baker coming down the home straight, our winner of the International Tempo. Bowie coming across the line, trying to break some ties. But Baker will be the lone point getter on the final sprint. And our winner in 2 races in a row, you know that means who's at the top of the International Omnium.
Okay, ladies, I'm going to be rolling you out for a 12-lap International Tempo. I will roll you neutral from the start grid. I will start you in turn 4 as long as you're all together. Once I start you, you go 2 laps and you'll hear a bell. After that bell, the first person on each lap is going to get 1 point. And as soon as they clear your way, we'll let you go.
Bringing out our women now for their attempt at the same thing you just saw. 2 laps without a point. International tempo, this one's going to be 12 laps for the women. So coming into this with the most number of points will be Annette Williams with 15. Danny Scoville's got 14 points. Kelly Darlene 13. Amara with 12. Alicia Stotts 11. Alexander McLaughlin has 10. Heather Nielsen 9. Ashley Hudson 9. Lucy Gilchrist 8. And Leah Hoslander with 7. That's the international Omnium points that these riders will carry with them throughout these events. So depending on how they finish here, they'll get more points to carry on into the next race. That pays off for in the points race at the end of the program. They'll start with how many they carry with them. You can see it's 15 points to win a race and 1 point less as you go down in those top placings. And our women are out for their first lap. 2 laps without a point. We'll get the bell after they've completed 2, signaling that we'll start going to 1 point to the lead rider. Lots of great stuff going out here. Fun moments that have been captured by, you know who, Dennis Crane, DBC Photo, taking some extra promo shots for Dinah over there. You can check out dbcphoto.com after the racing is concluded to get some incredible action shots from tonight. Riders, you want to support Dennis, go to his website, dbcphoto.com, and pick up a great photo to share with the friends and family online. They'll be getting the bell soon, so they'll be starting to get that front of the lap incentive here. Point next lap to the leader. We start giving points every lap from here on out to the leader. All right, our field rolling through turn 3 to get the first point out in this competition. Alexander McLaughlin leads the sprint, and Annette Williams tries to come back to it, and she looks like she'll do it. It'll be 102 called for the single first point. All right, lone leader. Just one sprint, though. Plenty more racing to go. Is going to be Annette Williams, so we're watching her as she kind of finds a wheel in the middle of this main field. Darlene, I talked about the neon gloves. Give her away from a distance. You can see her take the front and trying to find her first point. Kelly takes it. As the field appears to be happy to be on the wheel of Kelly for one lap. They just saw 8 to go. A tie between Darlene and Williams at the early stages of this race, and they are side by side right at the front as they flank and follow immediately behind. Danny Scoville leading the lap right now with that solid blue helmet in the Jerry Baker Jr.'s colors. Scoville with that impressive sprint in the last race, surprising us all with her finishing position. Scoville strong enough to hold on for one. Yes, she looks to be. Scoville for one gives us 3 riders with 1 point apiece. Is going to be Scoville, Williams, and Darlene. That was Heather Nielsen on the previous lap, picking up her first point. The rider in red has a teammate actually out in front of her now to find her first point, as it looks like it's going to be another rider for the Audi Crikey racing team, Ashley Hudson, 207. Moving away, we got 5 riders with 1 point apiece. Like I said, in this race, it's hard to get a point. Just getting your 1 point can mean a lot and can often set up a very important tiebreak at the end of the race. Now, Ashley doing an important move here. This is going to be the first rider to get 2 points and to separate herself from that very crowded field of 1 point getters. Hudson on the home straight, going to be picking up the 2nd point. And alone in the lead at 4 to go. Darlene feeling anxious. It's time to get up there. Williams also willing to do work. So we got 2 riders working together now to try to catch down Hudson before she can get too many points. With only 5 laps remaining when they came across the line, they know if they don't get to her soon, she's not going to be catchable with the number of points that are left out here to win. Hudson clearly looking like she can find a 3rd point. This is an impressive solo ride for our Audi competitor here. Hudson on the way for 3 points total, I should say, picking up 1 more at 3 to go. This is Darlene and Williams working as a duo in the pursuit. Our main field seeing 3 to go. This group of 5 now coming into turn 1. Back about 100 meters from the leaders, maybe a little less than that. I think Hudson may have just won this race. She's going to get another point, and it's going to be 4 points. No one else can find enough points to beat her, I think. Hudson with another one here at 2 to go. Now sits with 4 points. Well done. Just in the zone right now, doing excellent work off the front of this field. The solo effort, the hardest of all. Darlene and Annette Williams, they're able to share the workload a little bit, and they're still not able to quite find her wheel yet. At the least, these 2 riders that are chasing down are guaranteeing themselves 2nd and 3rd place between them, because now the 2 riders that are out the front catching, they both have 1 point each. There are a couple riders behind them with 1 point each. This guarantees them the tiebreak. So we'll see how that plays out. At 1 to go, Hudson gets another point. 5 to Hudson. No way you beat that anymore. Kelly Darlene gets the bell. 1 to go. 1 to go. Hudson's got more racing to do. Wisely sitting at the blue line saying this race is already won. I can cruise this lap. Darlene and Williams now in a sprint for 2nd place essentially here. Whoever wins this will be in 2nd. Scoville and Nielsen should be watching each other a little bit in the field. It looks like Scoville coming out of the group now will be trying to pick up 4th place. Here comes 2nd place for Darlene and Williams for 3rd. Our winner, Ashley Hudson here in the red coming across the line, and Scoville coming out of the field should end up with 4th overall, I believe. Couple more riders still finishing here. Cat 3s are getting ready to get set here and come on track.
All right, Cat 3 men, I'm going to roll you out for your 12-lap international tempo race. I'm going to roll you neutral from the start grid. As long as you're all together, I'll start you with a whistle in turn 4. You're going to go 2 laps, and then you'll get a bell. After the bell, the winner of each lap gets 1 point. You can go ahead and remove your mask. Yes, you are. And you're not in Omnium mode.
Out we go onto the track for the Cat 3s in their International Omnium. So the International Tempo, to be more specific, as part of their International Omnium. With the here's our points breakdown for the International Omnium, quickly going down the list. In the lead, Isaac Jurassic 15, Chris Wilson 14, Henry Kaiser 13, Jonathan Levi with 12, 11 to Peter Snoblin, 10 points Carl Pratis, Chris Lind has 9, David Branson has 9, Gene Wainwright with 8, and Ken Dong with 7. Finishing places here will be added on. So if you win 2 races in a row, you'd have 30 points. That's how that works. Our 4-0 points race, you will start with however many you come into it here. So every race counts for the International Omnium. Chris Lind and the field getting the whistle, and we are racing. Field rolling nicely here. Single file formation and looking efficient. It is going to be Chris Wilson at the front spot with 11 to go. Next time around, the bell for the first point. Next time around, we're going to give a point to the leader, and Peter Snoblin says, I know how to win a point. Go fast. And off he goes. Snoblin well ahead of the field now to pick up these early points and maybe just win this race if he can get far enough away. You got to catch him to get a point back. So Snoblin doing something pretty bold here. Got to love it. Snoblin getting some help from the home crowd. Come on, folks, give him some help. Snoblin, 1 point, 9 to go. Another point for Snoblin. 2 points and the lead. Next fields on the track will be our juniors, followed by Cat 4 men. Snoblin just rocking and a-rolling. It might be. Snoblin, another point. Levi making the move. Jonathan Levi is going to accelerate. Bib 319. He's tired of watching others get points. My turn. Got to get up there fast, though. Snowman still has a bit of a gap here, but Jonathan is definitely on pace to catch here as he comes into turn 3. Look at the speed of the chasing riders. They're tired of watching someone else get all the points. Snowblin, though, with 4 is already in a really good spot. Oh, no. Oh. 301 gets it. That's Jurassic. Thank you. And Bib 306 comes into the view. That's Chris Wilson for a point. He has 1 and now working his way in a tie for second place against Jonathan Levi, who's currently pursuing the 2 leaders. So now it's going to be Wilson versus Jurassic on the back straight coming into turn 3 right now. The rider in the black and the green without a point yet, but trying to position himself to pick up one of these. Snowblin just has to stay on this lap with the leaders, and he's in a really good spot to win this race with 4 points already. Wilson finds his second. If these 2 compete against each other, it's going to be awfully hard, though, to overtake Snowblin because right now, Chris Wilson has 2. He has to get at least 2 more points, obviously 2 more laps, and I don't think that's going to be likely because Jurassic doesn't have any points yet. He's going to want to sprint him to get some points himself, meaning that it's going to be awfully hard for Snowblin to lose this lead if things play out the way he's hoping for. Here comes the junior to do just as we were talking about. He wants a point, so I stand corrected. He had 1 earlier, so this will be his second. So 2 riders at the front of the race at the Broadmark Realty Capital sign in turn 1 are the leaders in position overall. They both have 2 points. Peter Snowblin in the white here with the white colors on the bike and the orange accents is our current race leader with 4 points. He won't be getting any more points anytime soon, though. This field has kind of broken itself apart on the efforts of both Peter and now the new leaders. This is going to be a lap after lap sprinting event between these 2. Jurassic to find another, make it 3 at 1 to go. Our current racer in second place is Jurassic. If Jurassic finds the sprint, he wins outright over Snowblin. If Wilson finds this sprint, he'll get second, pushing Jurassic down to 3rd, and Snowblin will be our winner. So Snowblin's rooting hard for the rider in the dark green. The junior's got the jump. We're watching the front of this one. This could be interesting. It's going to be up to Chris Wilson to make the jump back. Otherwise, the junior wins. And I think it might already be in the favor of Liquid Velo. It's going to be Jurassic taking this race in the tiebreak against Snowblin. He's able to put it together just enough. That pushes Snowblin down to second place. And Chris Wilson will find 3rd. All riders coming in here are not getting points. So we might be breaking some ties, though, as they come through. All right, next our junior is going to be started here shortly for their unknown scratch. On deck, Cat 4 Men for their unknown scratch as well.
I'm going to roll you neutral from the start grid as long as you're all together. I will start you with a whistle in turn 4. You're doing an unknown scratch race. Nothing showing on the lap board until you get the bell.
All right, so the unknown scratch, we don't know how many laps it's going to go for. And nor do the juniors. The way they'll know is the bell will ring at 1 to go. Currently in the neutral, we'll get them started out of turn 4 if they're all together. and then our unknown scratch will be underway. Again, we'll know when it's over when the sound of the bell's ringing. It can be as short as 1 lap or as many as, I guess, 99 because we ran out of lap cards at that point, but I don't think we're going to do that to anybody today. All right, off we go. For some amount of time here, our riders will be out on the track. When the bell's ringing, we know it's going to be over on the next lap. All right, so far, no bell, which means we're still in that unknown land. We're just counting how many laps have been completed, basically, because we don't know how many are left. So lap card showing 3 laps completed so far and no bell for our juniors, but they're still getting some from the home crowd. That's Indigo Vining riding in the middle of the pack at the lead position, but he's not down in the sprinter's lane, so looks like Bella will take the spot 201. And there's the bell. It's 1 to go for the juniors. Indigo Vining out of the saddle, and off you go. The sprint is on. Our field's basically together. This will be a fun one. It's Indigo Vining still leading the lap. And if anybody else can be able to move up, look out for Logan making a nice move at it. It's still Indigo Vining. Here comes Logan accelerating at the blue line. Can he find his room to get down there? He still has the long way around the track currently where he is on the field, but it's going to be Indigo Vining still at the front. Logan still trying to chase in on this one. Coming on the home straight, it's still Indigo Vining attacking for the front. Can he hold on? Logan still accelerating. Logan, Indigo, Logan, I think we'll get it. Woo! Nice, very fun finish for the juniors. Making it fast. Well done, kids. They'll exit on this next lap, and our Cat 4 men are getting set for their unknown scratch.
Cap, I'm getting ready. Hey, I'm going to roll you neutral from the start grid. I will start you in turn 4 with a whistle as long as you're all together. You can go ahead and remove your masks. Okay, go ahead and roll out.
All right, so on the neutral right now, we got another unknown scratch for the Cat 4 men. I hyped them up in the first race and they delivered, so should I hype them up again? They never failed to deliver an exciting race. There you go. Now we set them up. Starting out of turn 4, looks like they're going to be all together here in a moment. They'll get the whistle and we'll get this thing started for who knows how long. Our first lap underway. Benjamin Pflaum in the Fell Swoop orange kit is the lead rider. A newer face at the track here this year in our Cat 4s and doing awesome in this first season. So moving the field along in the very first lap. All right, so our field coming together through the turn. If an unknown scratch, again, everyone's got to kind of be playing this betting game. One of the fun things to do is in your mind when you start these races, you're trying to guess, what is the, Lou's holding onto the bell for a moment. He's psyching them out a little bit. They were trying to get a little anxious, so maybe that was a good time to play with them. They don't know how long this will be for. None of us know how long it's going to be for. Certainly not the racers. So you can take a gamble. You could say, I bet it's going to be 7 laps. 7's my lucky number. And just make an attack. See what happens. If you totally get it right, you might just get a really easy victory. It doesn't happen very often. Most of the time in this race, the riders will kind of stay in it and try to be competitive and ready. Pyle says he wants to move things along. So JC rolls from the front a little bit, accelerating things, one of our juniors, and he brings with him Odin. Riding now at the front of this field and breaking things up a little bit. Four laps completed, no bell ringing. Number 419, one of our young competitors. Odin doing some good work off the front of this field now. Coming all the way from California to race here at the Velodrome for a couple weeks. Spend some time up here with us in the Pacific Northwest. Odin Thornton's looking like he's on a tear right now. He's hoping for the bell soon. 5 laps completed and no bell ringing. Pflaum in the pursuit with most of that field staring down the rear wheel and sticking with him. This might have been Odin's gamble that he took. He put the chips out on the table and said, yep, I'm all in for somewhere in this range. So far, his gamble hasn't paid off. Could it here? No. Lou gets this again. 6 laps completed, and Odin, our Californian, will have to cruise on up and reset himself. Currently in the middle of this Cat 4 men's unknown scratch, we get back into the International Omnium with the elimination race. Cat 1-2 men are on deck for that. We don't know how much longer you have, so if you want to head over to the warm-up cycle anytime, you may do so. Cat 1-2 men are on deck for the International elimination. And it's 7 to go. The bell, 7 laps completed. The bell's ringing just after Odin gets off the front. You're kidding me, man. Oh. And that's what you get when you go off the front like that. It's a great risk. It just did not pay off for the youngster. And now Benjamin Pflaum playing it a little bit more conservative, but always near the front, setting himself up well. And here comes Zach Jurassic, the rider in the black and the green, trying to find his position. Itai Malakoff was just played really well, finding the right wheel and the right time to sprint. He's got himself another great wheel, folks. Here he comes. Itai Malakoff maneuvering brilliantly tonight through this field. And he's done an excellent job. He'll find another one. Malakoff to win the unknown scratch. Ben Jurassic moving into position as well with a great finish. All right, so Cat 1-2's to the ready area to queue up for the elimination. We'll get you started here shortly. Again, Cat 1-2's, it's now time. The unknown scratch just wrapping up. Cat 1-2 men, please. Time to get queued up for the International Omnium third race, the elimination. I am working on getting the current standings for the International Omnium loaded up here, so give me just a moment. In the lead currently with 30 points is Andy Baker. In second place with 26, John Bowie. In third with 25 points, Brandon Russell in a tie with Emmett Culp with 25. In fifth, Stephen Wilson's 24. Nolan Adams with 20. Nick Martinez has 18. Kenny Williams 17. Christian Miller 16. Mike Darlene 13. Ryan Rustfold 12. Matt Haldeman 12. John Butler 11. Steve McLaughlin 10. Vern Cole 9. Waterman -10, I believe.
Okay, Cat 1-2 men, I'm going to roll you out for our elimination race. I'm going to roll you neutral from the start grid. I will start you in turn 4 as long as you're all together. First time past the finish line, no one gets pulled. Last rider gets pulled on each of the following laps till we're down to 2 riders. You'll get a bell for those 2 riders who are sprinting for first and second place. You can go ahead and remove your mask.
All right, riders getting the signal to come on track. This is a good chance for me to remind those that are in the Omnium to check ahead of time. You can look at your start list for the upcoming race and see the International Omnium points on the right column. Go velodrome.org/live and click the link there to check before the race, and you can help us get in order. I will still announce them quickly as we get up to the line as well. I don't do this race enough to remember I gotta give that information out sometimes to get us lined up. So I apologize for the little bit of delay there in our transition. Our Cat 1-2 men are now out and getting this thing started. This is going to be an elimination, so the riders at the back are going to get pulled out of the field one at a time until we whittle it down to 2. It's an elimination down to 2 riders, and at that point, obviously, with only 2 left, it's a sprint between 2 riders. So we're looking forward to this very fast elimination. It is oftentimes one of the quickest out there. Here comes our first elimination. 2-8. 2-8, Rustfold. Looks like the Shark says time to go ahead and hustle off the front a little bit. That's going to be Stephen McLaughlin, one of our competitors out of Portland, getting ahead of the field. But where's the action really at in the elimination? It's the back of the field. Avoiding anything near the back. McLaughlin moving well off the front. Here comes our field looking for the next one. 31 is Darlene on the inside. Is he or Vern Cole? It'll be called on the inside to Darlene. The order at which you're eliminated is your position. So you take the total number of riders, and the first eliminated is the last place, and work your way on up. You got to survive several rounds of this elimination tempo. that's going to be set by this field. It's just time after time, a consistent tempo, and then the sprint over the top at the end as you'll see the riders go wide and up along the rail looking for room. 19 is Vern Cole. 1-9, Vern Cole. Vern Cole. Looks like he's got the memo, and it looks like we may have a volunteer here. No pole from the field here as we are going to be, we have a volunteer coming out on this lap, so the field is safe at this point. The field is safe, no pole from the field. The rider's already off the back. The rider's already off the back, no pole from the field here. McLaughlin will be our next rider eliminated. Yeah. Thanks for making the trip up, Steven. That was fun watching the sprints today, too. He competed in our sprint tournament earlier today and had some great efforts in the time trials. Next pole to come here shortly. Look at the back of the field. Rider looking for room is going to go down the short route. Is that going to work out? May not. Number 20, Eric Waterman. Who next here? Baker finds himself off the front of the field, giving us a nice view on the live stream of the swell of riders behind him. 2-4 is Butler. 24, Butler. The self-described moniker of the Chicken Express has been caught. Baker still sitting at the front of the field, leaving a couple bike lengths between himself and the nearest rider behind him, Wilson's, making it fast enough now that we're not really seeing a fanning of the riders. 34 as Haldy pulls up to the right. Again, we're working our way down to 2, so we just keep on going. We don't show the number of laps because there's a chance that we may have a no pole if there's a little bit of a miscommunication or anything that occurs. So rather than showing laps, we just count the riders. That gives us an idea of how much time we have left. And at the line, 18 is Martinez. Nick Martinez in the middle of the field. 8 riders left. 6 more to pull down to that final sprint. Our Omnium leader also leading this race right now, Andy Baker, in great form on a Saturday evening. So the rider with the current lead in the Omnium. And who's going to find it this time? No room. 2-5, he knows it. Wilson's shaking his head as he comes across the line. Just nowhere to go. It's tough in these races when you get behind a wheel and underneath people. The only real way to get out of that, you get what they call boxed in. You try to go to the right to move out and you can't. And what happens in this race is if you do that, you'll watch this wave come over the front, over the top of the field while you're just stuck with nowhere to go. You're behind a wheel. What are you going to do? And that'll happen for riders down that sprinter's lane if they're trying to hang out a little too long. Fanning out again. Who's not going to find room? It's the rider down the bottom. It's 21. Emmett Culp, another one of our Portland competitors, just didn't have enough room to squeeze at the bottom. Bowie, I saw the rider in black and green did the same thing, but he was higher on the track, so he had a little more room to do it. If you're down the sprinter's lane again, you just don't have that luxury of space to reposition yourself. But now as we're getting down to a smaller field, there's lots of room. If riders fan out, they've got plenty of space here, but they continue to bunch up right now down in the lower part of the track. So who's not going to have the space to move here? Christian Miller coming up to the front. Will not be him. It'll be Kenny Williams, number 2. A rider out of Kenmore for the Center Cycles Club is found there, leaving 5. Andy Baker still in the mix. Nolan Adams in the pink for Dyna Racing. Christian Miller right in the middle of that lineup. John Bowie, the 4th rider. Brando is the 5th rider in the dark green for Fount Cycling. Still eliminating down to 2. Who's going to be next? Oh, looking at the bottom again. Oh, it's 11. Nolan Adams, just not quite enough room to find the space. Oh, man. Our pink team losing its representative here in the top 5, but still finding a good place overall in the field. It's going to be Baker at the front of it now with Miller, Bowie, Russell in pursuit behind him. Oh, no. Number 4. He's looking around thinking, there's got to be someone there. There's got to be someone. No, there's not. Baker finds 4th in the race. Christian Miller now takes the lead spot. The rider in that white jersey with the black helmet. Currently kind of in the middle of the field in the Omnium, but this is going to bump him up nicely as he's now found his way into the top 3. 2 of the riders that have been very competitive in the Omnium are Bowie and Russell right behind him. This is 1 to go. We're going to eliminate 1 more rider here, and it might be Miller. It might be Russell. Oh, number 5 is called Christian Miller, just barely not having enough to hold on. Miller on the inside. Miller eliminated. Looks like he's going to be staying down as the sprint is going to his right, and he'll just exit down into the apron. And now it's going to be one-on-one on this lap. It's 1 to go, and with 200 meters left on the track, they're still not at a sprint speed. Bowie goes up onto the hill. He's waiting for someone to make the move. Bowie's got huge turn of speed here, lots of power. Can he put into the pedals in just enough time? Can he hold the charge? The counter coming now, getting on the rear wheel. It's going to be Bowie from the front. Bowie trying to hold on. Brando doesn't have enough. It's going to be Bowie for the win in the elimination. Combining the endurance needed and the sprints and, of course, the smarts to position himself. Bowie finds a good victory tonight in the elimination. All right. All right, in the lead for the Omnium, I've got Annette Williams with 28, Kelly Darlene with 27, Denny Scoville 26, Ashley Hudson 24, Amar Edwards 22, Heather Nielsen with 20, Alicia Stats with 20, Alexander McLaughlin with 18, Lucy Gilchrist 17, Leah Holslander 14. That is the order I have them in for the International Omnium. Here we go, women's elimination.
Okay, ladies, I'm going to start you for your elimination race. I'm going to roll you neutral from the start grid. I will start you in 4 with the whistle as long as you're all together. On that first time after the whistle, we do not pull in. Every lap after that, the last rider gets pulled until we get down to 2 riders. You get a bell, and those riders are sprinting for 1st and 2nd place.
Currently in the neutral. We'll get them started after this one. You've seen the elimination now once already. Same thing as we just saw a moment ago. Smaller field does mean a shorter race overall. It's based on the number of competitors. The Elite Men, Cat 1-2s, your results from that last race are already up. And you can check your International Omnium standings before the points race so you can know where you stand coming into that one. You just need to click that link for the points race start list. Look at your next race start list and you'll find your Omnium standings coming into the race at the right side of that sheet. So go ahead and take a look at that. velodrome.org/live for the link. Scrolling down for the current results. Again, velodrome.org/live. All right, next time around, we get 1 rider out of the field. Kelly Darlene setting the pace early. 1 rider out each lap until we're down to 2. You need top speed because you got to still be able to sprint at the end of this thing. It's basically a match sprint when it's all over. So that is an important characteristic, but really what it comes down to is you got to have the base legs. You got to have the endurance to survive several laps. This race does combine really nicely with very fast recovery and twitch response. And just endurance overall. It's a nice kind of overall athletic test. All 2s. It'll be Gilchrist. 222. Lucy. Our eyes on the back of the field as we see Looks to be Alexander McLaughlin in the bright green. Leah Holslander just behind her as our sort of the back wave, the back end of the field having to surge and find their place in the field. And it'll be Holslander this time. One of our juniors racing with the big kids. Caught on the second lap. .207 is Ashley Hudson, our winner of the tempo, found here on this lap, not able to get room to maneuver right in the middle of the field. Both McLaughlin and Edwards have been kind of on the tail end of this field every lap and then finding space over the top, kind of playing this role of the devil as they kind of call it to this race. Devil takes the hindmost as a sort of a name for it across the big pond, our friends in Great Britain, as it's kind of this idea of you just want to be not last. And racing to be not last means you can just beat the last place person. 204, the inside, it Stotts on the inside. The wave catches her just in time. And the two riders I'm talking about, McLaughlin and Edwards again, sitting at the tail and then just need to accelerate just enough to not be last. That's all you got to do. If you keep doing that over and over and over again, eventually you'll be in the top. It's the same concept of being on the wheel of the lead rider and then just beating him at the line with the sprint. It's just more of a field tactic sort of approach to that same concept. McLaughlin needs to find the turn here. 1-1-1. Nielsen caught on the inside. Once again, McLaughlin playing the role perfectly, accelerating along the home straight. The gas might have been spent on that one, though. We'll see. McLaughlin losing a little bit of room here and may not have enough time to recover before the next sprint. It will be McLaughlin coming in. Impressive effort. Great sprinting there through the middle of that race. Just ran out of steam before she could get back onto the field. 4 riders remain. Darlene, Williams, Scoville, and Edwards. It's our top 5 in the Omnium overall minus Ashley Hudson. So the top of the Omnium still surviving here for the most part. Who's going to be out now? Darlene setting herself well ahead of the group. And the pursuit coming in, 210, it's going to be Scoville. Felt a little safe, started to pull up a little bit, and then a nice second effort from Edwards and Williams finds her. Now it's going to be Darlene at the front of the field, Edwards in the middle, and Williams, the third rider in the grouping. Bells ringing. It's 1 to go. 1 more to eliminate. Oh, there's a big effort here to stay in the race. 103. It's Edwards. 103. It's going to be Williams having to now recover quickly as Darlene's just trying to stay on it. It's already 1 to go, so there's no more eliminating. It's just the top 2 sprinting. Williams loving this. She's got a wheel, and it's going to be on the back of Darlene. Kelly's going to have to just go to the line here at top speed. Darlene coming out of the turn, and Annette in the perfect position. She just has to finish it, and it looks like she'll be able to. So smooth to the finish. It's been a while since I've seen that smooth acceleration of Annette Williams, man. It's like she's not even moving as she's flying. Pretty awesome. All right, well done with our women competitors. Up next will be Cat 3 men to the ready area for their elimination. Cat 3s, please, to the ready area. I'm sorry for not prepping that a bit sooner. Exciting racing here. We got Cat 3s coming up next. They're followed by the juniors as we go into our final series of points races. Women competitors, you can check velodrome.org/live and click into your start list for the points race to check your Omnium standings before coming over for the ready area. All right, I will read really quickly the Cat 3s before we start as well. In the lead, Isaac Jurassic with 30, Chris Wilson 27, Peter Snowblin 25, Jonathan Levi 24, Henry Kaiser also with 24, Carl Pratis 19, Gene Wainwright 18, Chris Lind 18, and David Branson 17. Cat 3 men about ready to start their elimination.
All right, Cat 3 men, I'm going to roll you for your elimination race. I'm going to roll you neutral from the start grid. I will start you with the whistle in turn 4 as long as you are all together. Once you get the whistle, the first time past the finish line, we do not pull anybody. Next lap after that, last rider gets pulled on every lap till we get down to 3 riders. At that point, you get a bell, and you're sprinting for first and second place. You can go ahead and remove your mask, and go ahead and roll out.
All right, we've got another one coming at you. All right, in the neutral. After this, the elimination again starts. You've seen it a couple times now. I see turn 1 starting to fill in. Folks from the park kind of hustling into the velodrome to see what's going on. We're racing in our kickoff event. It's the final session of racing here at the velodrome for this weekend. But what's the kickoff all about? Well, we're starting regular season, so we got even more racing coming up. The month of June is the beginning of our normal regular season schedule. We go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every single week at 7 o'clock. Plus, we add some racing on Saturdays and Sundays. It's a lot of information, and the way I can summarize it is just go to velodrome.org/calendar if you want to learn a little bit more about the full schedule of events going on this summer. And the sound of the whistle means the racing is underway. We are now eliminating. Next time around, we pull the first rider. Next time across the line, our first rider is eliminated. Track racing is a fantastic way to get into a community and begin to become a little bit more active. Try a new competitive sport. It starts off your journey with a class where we get you started with the basics of the sport, and then we get you out here on some beginner racing, and before you know it, you're out here under the Friday night lights and enjoying an evening with your community and competing on the track. So get signed up for a class at velodrome.org. If you want to know more about things, head to that website and cruise around. You'll find a lot to see there. Oh, man. 302. He was making a run at it, just not quite enough. As Ken Dong is found there. Who's out here? Oh, 316 making the move on the outside, but just not enough. He knew what he had to do. Time was against him. Chris Lynn making his way off on the back straight. Yeah, another rider in pink, 312. Gene Wainwright. 7 riders remain. We still got to pull 5 of them. before we're just in that 1-to-1 sprint that ends the elimination. The International Omnium, I've been talking about that a few times tonight. In case you're just now tuning in to join us, 3 of our fields are racing in a combined Omnium event where each race you earn points for the final points race. So we'll announce where those riders are as they come into their final race, which is coming up after these races conclude. We'll start those points races up. 318 knows as his name is David Branson's going to be coming out this time. But you get rewarded for your efforts in 3 events that then culminates in the final points race. So that'll be an exciting conclusion for 3 of our fields. We'll be racing that International Omnium finish soon. Coming up next will be juniors for their points race, not doing an International Omnium. Cat 4 men will follow. This is a kind field, lots of volunteers today. It's usually hard to find volunteers around here. Carl Pratis, 304, taking his exit. It's not Snoblin, but I guess he's got his hand up saying he's going to take this one. Peter Snoblin out this time. Four riders in the main field. It'll be Isaac Jurassic at the lead spot in black and green. At his side is Chris Wilson in the green with the light green helmet. The bright orange of Henry Kaiser and John Levi. .321, Kaiser. .319, Levi. And it's now 1 to go. It's going to be Chris Wilson, the rider in dark green. Black and green is Isaac Jurassic. We've been calling their names a lot tonight. They're going head to head, and it looks like the junior's got the wheel again. Can he come around for one more here? Chris Wilson just has to hold the lead position. Here they come down the straight. Wilson and Jurassic. Oh! Jurassic with just enough, I think. Well done.
Okay, juniors, I'm going to roll you out for a 4x3 points race. I'm going to roll you neutral from the start grid. As long as you're all together in turn 4, I will start you with a whistle. You're doing 12 laps, 4 sprints, 1 every 3 laps. Go ahead and roll out.
All right. A little bit off the mic there. I'm back with you. The points race getting started for our juniors. So points racing is a race in which we give points out to the leaders on certain laps. You'll know when we're going to give those points out based on the bell. Leaders on those laps will pick up points in this order. First rider gets 5, second rider gets 3, third rider gets 2, and the fourth rider gets 1. 5, 4, 3, 5, 3, 2, and 1 to the leaders on those points laps. Riders with the most number of points at the end of the race wins overall. If there's any ties, they'll break them based on their position in the final sprint. Our previous field, the Cat 3s, can check velodrome.org/live for the live results. Look at the start list for your points race and see where your overall standings are in the Omnium. Once again, Cat 3s checking your results. You can do so by clicking the start list for the points race to see where you are in the Omnium. This is a 4x3, which means 4 sprints every 3 laps. Our first one is about to get started, so we'll see who our early junior leader will be. That bell says, next time we get points, who's going to find the first set of points here? 5 to the leader. Sprinter's lane wide open for Logan, but he's going to stay at the blue. There he goes. Taking the short line. Logan making a big move here on the back straight. Nice work for him. Going to try to find 5 points early in the race. He might as well. Behind him, the sprint is going to be on for the 3 points. Logan gets some encouragement from the infield there. At 9 to go, he'll take the first points sprint. I think the points will go 5:01. Grace Evans, I think, may have found the 3. 5:10 was Rue Tomko. They'll get 2, and I think 5:02 Sadie got the 1 point. I'll confer to ensure that's correct. More points on the next lap here. And still Logan doing a nice job settling into a groove ahead of the field. Wants to find 5 more to give him a solid early lead of 10 points. Indigo Vining on the chase here is Bib 514. Comes across the line looking for points next lap as well. Logan picking up 5 more. The solo effort from the kid here is getting a little bit of confidence built up in that last race. He'll find some more here. Bring him up to 10. Indigo for 3. My unofficial totals are leader of the race, Logan Lee with 10. 5 points to Bella in second. In third is 3 points to Indigo. Rue's got 2, as does Sadie. They just saw 5 to go. Off we go for another lap of points, and it's going to be Logan just riding this impressive solo ride tonight. Broadmark Relay Capital team's got some well-trained youth here moving along in front of the Jerry Baker squad, chasing him down. Our race leader now on the back straight, trying to find 5 more. And the field will be sprinting for 3. That's the group now in turn 2, coming out onto the back straight currently. Help out Logan here. He is putting on a nice show tonight for us. Our juniors competing well. Logan off on his own. Here's the sprint for 3. Coming out of the field, it'll be Indigo looking for the 3. Bella finds 2, and I think that was going to be Rue for the 1. Unofficially in the leader, 15 to Logan Lee, 7 to Bella, 6 to Indigo Vining. There's our second and third place. In fourth, I got Rue with 3, and fifth is Sadie with 2. If you're enjoying what you see online, I got some viewers checking us out on Facebook and YouTube. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up for the video and share it. That would really help us out, as the Velodrome is trying to do our best to promote the sport and keep it alive up here in the Pacific Northwest and let people know we're doing cool stuff in our community. We'd appreciate your support on that online space. You can also give us a follow on the socials. Just look for us at JB Velodrome. That's at Jerry Baker Velodrome. JB Velodrome on Twitter, Instagram, our YouTube channel, all sharing that same moniker. And 1 to go. It's double the points. Race leader coming onto the home straight. Logan Lee in the white wants to find the final 10 and put this thing to bed. He's taken all of them. Nicely done. Here comes the sprint for 6 as the bell's ringing for the main field. Indigo Vining has taken the last couple. He needs to find another one here. It'll be 6 points to take the lead out of the field at this rate. Cat 4s are on the infield warming up and getting ready to set themselves over for queuing up. So please be at the ready area now as our juniors are about to finish up. Cat 4 men to ready. Logan, put your hands together for our junior grabbing it here. And watch the sprint here, folks. Here comes Indigo out of the turn. Being pursued, though. It's going to be 2 up to sprint for the 6. Nice job. Indigo will find it. Nice work. Bella coming in for the 4. And it looks like Rue, I think, getting the 2 points. Nicely done, juniors. We got, I think, everybody wrapped up on that lap. So we're set to go here. Our next field now getting up and ready is the Cat 4s for their points race. After this, we will have 3 more races. It'll be points racing, but it's going to be that international Omnium sort. So coming right around the corner will be our last couple of races here.
Okay, Cat 4 men, I'm going to roll you out for your 4x4 points race. Going to roll the start grid. If you're all together in turn 4, I will start you with the whistle. Again, you're doing a 4x4 points race, 4 sprints, 1 every 4 laps, double points on the last lap. Go ahead and remove your mask. And roll out.
Our last lap of the weekend for the Cat 4 men competitors, and what a great weekend of racing it's been. 1 more to go for these guys, and a good way to end. We got a good 4x4 points race. We'll get them through the neutral, and then we'll get this thing started. So you saw the rules. The juniors taught you the way. Now it'll be the Cat 4 men's turn to do the same. Hey, 1 more reminder. I'm going to plug it just, maybe, I shouldn't say 1 time. Who's my kid? I'm going to plug it like 2 or 3 more times here. We do have an auction going on online currently. You can find the link. If you're actually looking on the live stream currently, you'll see where you can go to support the Velodrome. That's open through tomorrow, Sunday at noon for most of the items. There's a few that'll close at 2. You can sign up by going to the word one.bidpal.net/JBMV auction. You can also find that link currently right now at the top of the page for velodrome.org/live. Sign up and bid on some beautiful, wonderful, unique items you can only get through our auction this year. There are some pretty cool items in there this year, I gotta say. There's always some beautiful stuff. A lot of them you will see bedazzled with the blue and the red colors of our track. The black and red and blue lines that signal track racing. Really make them stand out and are very unique. So, Junior Omnium results and results from the previous race have been posted. The velodrome.org/live link is there. You can find the link to the results folder. This is a 4x4, which means 4 sprints every 4 laps. So the bells will not come quite as frequently as we saw in the previous group. The first bell will be when the lap cards read 13 to go. And you can see, if you're on the home straight audience, you can see from the grandstands, if you look at the finish line, those red lap cards. Just seeing 15 to go as they cross that time. At 14 to go, time to heat things up. Stan Douglas will ignite a bit of a flame here. Off he goes, bringing with him 4 riders. Zach Jurassic will reply in kind and say, sure, I got one up my sleeve too. So the rider in black and green now takes the lead spot. Itai Malakoff in the pursuit on him. At 13 to go, the bell's ringing for our first points. 5, 3, 2, and 1 next time around. Parker Sanford wants to make a move. One of the juniors nicely accelerating through turn 1. Itai Malakoff will pop up and join the new wave. Coming down the back straight, looks like it will be soon Itai to take the front position. And Itai looking to pick up the first 5. Peter Gilchrist will pick up the 2. Peter for 3. Zach will pick up 2. And I think that's Joe Spranger found the 1 point unofficially. Our race leader is Itai Malakoff with 5 points. 402 is his number. You can see the yellow number from over here on the back of that black jersey. In about third wheel spot right now, up and out of the saddle as he sees the rider starting to maneuver into the front. In second place is Peter Gilchrist with 3. In third with 2 is Zach Jurassic, and in fourth place with 1, Joe Spranger. Benjamin Flaum, the rider in the black and orange, is now making his move at 10 to go. This isn't a points lap, but what he can do is get out ahead of the field, ahead of the points lap, and that'll just make it so he's not sprinting against other riders. It'll just be him and whoever else can match his speed. So right now it's just Ben on his own, but he's being almost matched by 1 as Odin, our Californian, making a move to try to get to him. At 9 to go, trying to sneak up on him a little bit here. It looks like 2 riders well up the front. We're going to be fighting over the 5 and the 3 unless this move here gets there fast. Spranger, Fowler, and Jurassic off the front. That's going to be Benjamin in the black and green. Our 3 in the pursuit behind the leaders. Still Flom on the front. Flom looking for these 5 points. needs to get something for this big effort he's put out here, and I think he's on his way to find it. Odin, with this great response, looks like he'll be able to find the 3. 5 for Flaum. And that looks like 2 for Ben Jurassic, 1 for Joe Spranger again. In a tie at the top of the race, I have Flaum and Malakoff with 5. In third with a tie at 3 points apiece is Thorderson and Gilchrist. And I have 3 riders with 2 points apiece. Zach Jurassic, Joe Spranger, and Ben Jurassic. The front of the race is still the rider in the black and the orange. He's on the back straight, and it's looks like Ben Jurassic is the one who really wants to get up to him. But if this Ben can kind of keep this solo pace, he watched the juniors a moment ago. He said, "Hey, Logan, good idea. I can do this too." 6 to go, and Flaum looking very good here in the points race. If he can keep on this endurance effort, he'll just keep picking up the 5 as he does this. Ben Jurassic knows this is a good move, and if he can get to him, it gets that much more dynamic, but it's a big effort to get there. The field says, no thanks. We got to get this thing reeled in quick. Mike Ritter starting to do some work for the group. The main field in the chase now, and beginning to organize well. At the front still, it's Benjamin Flaum coming through underneath the Stanley sign now and through turn 4. And getting the bell. Next time, more points for him. Can he get the solo lead? He will likely do so. He's still on the same straight as the field, so they can see him. They don't yet smell blood in the water, though, as Benjamin Flaum is still really cooking along very comfortably. Not easily, by the way. He's putting in a lot of effort right now, but he's making it look a little bit easy as he's kept this field on their heels for the last several laps. I'm already starting to reach for the pen for the 5 points for Flaum, as I don't see anyone catching him yet, so he's going to have 10 points here, it looks like. Our chasing field fighting over 3, as it looks like the first rider out is Malakoff. I'm watching for Ben Jurassic to find 2 and Odin Thordarson to find the 1. Our leader now, Benjamin Flaum with 10. Bell Soup, the black and orange, unofficially. In second is Malakoff with 8. Itai Malakoff has 8 points in second place currently. After that, 2 riders with 4. Tied for fourth place is Odin Thordarson and Ben Jurassic. 1 rider with 3 points is Peter Gilchrist. I have 2 with 2 points apiece, Zach Jurassic and Joe Spranger. Looks like those are on pace to be the correct numbers. Flaum catching a few on the back straight. He's still our leader. The riders getting caught will not be eligible for points on an upcoming sprint until they get caught by the field at this point, is my understanding. That'd be the no man's land of activity here. They have to be fully lapped by the field before they can participate. Seeing 2 to go for our race leader. Flaum just really wants to end this weekend strong, picking up as many points as he can in this great effort by him. I think the field may have already resigned to sprinting for 6, as Flaum is going to be getting the bell and will be getting 10 points likely for his incredible off-the-front effort. Get ready, this race is almost over. Our Cat 1-2 men for the International Omnium, your final stage, is upcoming. To the ready area, please. Cat 1-2s. 1 to go. Here we go. Flaum going to end this thing in style. Look at that solo effort, just unending. And the main field gets the bell for their sprint for 6 points. Zach Jurassic will take the lead spot. Malakoff and Spranger are near the front as well. Watching on the home straight for just a moment as Flaum will be getting the victory and the 10 points. But now we turn our attention back to the field to see the sprint's coming pretty high at the blue line. It's going to be Campbell Harris flying in the front of this thing. Ben Jurassic, Joe Spranger will go for the 4 points and the 2 points. The Exodus has begun. Some of our fields are concluding, as these are the last races for some of our athletes, so they're trying to get the gear out of here and get packed up. That was the last one for the Cat 4s. Our winner, Benjamin Flom, about to come around the corner as they're all making their exit here shortly. International Omnium results about to be read out for the elite men. Our Cat 1-2 is about ready to start. Round of applause for the Cat 4 competitors on this weekend. A great weekend of racing, gentlemen. Nice job. All right. Let me get over to where we are for our Omnium standings in this, what is about to be the final stage of the International Omnium. The points race for the Cat 1-2 men. The standings are thus. In the lead by just a single point coming into the race for Broadmark Realty, Andy Baker. In second place with 41 points for Liquid Velo, John Bowie. In third place, 39 points for Fountain Cycling, Brandon Russell. In fourth place with 34 points for Digital Commerce Bank, Emmett Culp. And in fifth with 33 for the Caliber Home Loans team is Stephen Wilsons. After that, Nolan Adams with 31, Christian Miller 29, Kenny Williams 27, Nick Martinez 26, Matt Haldeman 19, John Butler 18, Mike Darlene 17, Ryan Rusfold 15, Stephen McLaughlin 15, Vern Cole 14.
All right, Cat 1-2 men, I'm going to roll you out for a 6x5 points race. Start you in turn 4 with the whistle as long as you're all together. Again, 6x5 points, 6 sprints, 1 every 5 laps. Points are 5-1, double points on the last lap. Go ahead and roll out.
All right, so unlike the previous races that you just saw, the points are awarded the same, but the riders start with already some points in the bank. The points in the bank for these riders are the ones that come in from the previous races. The numbers I just read to you, that's what they start with. So some riders already have a strong starting position, but really not a lot of separation between the top and the middle of this race. The very top especially very tight. So each of these points laps will still matter dramatically. Our leader in the Omnium, number 4, Andy Baker, keep your eye on him as he is currently the rider with the most points, but only by a single digit. And single digit, a 1, not 9 points, 1 point. So it is a tight margin at the top of the race. As we go through this neutral, we'll get them started out of turn 4. And again, this one is going to be a longer race. We've got a 6x5, 6 sprints every 5 laps for a total of 30. And off we go. The man of the first lap, Andy Baker, starts things off. I would call him one lap Andy, but he doesn't leave the race after 1 lap. Doesn't sound appropriate. The first bell will happen at 26 laps to go, so right now we're in the interim laps before we start calculating the points. The trick here is to add the points of the current race to their standings as they came into it and see where they lie throughout this race and keep those standings straight. On deck will be the women competitors for their points race. 28 to go. Vern Cole at the front. Eric Waterman now to take the lead spot. Ahead of the bell lap, Nick Martinez finds some acceleration here. Butler will join in on the fun as Darlene is not prone to let this get away. He'll do some effort to speed up the field. Butler and Martinez now the lead 2, hoping to get some distance between them and the main field before the bell rings. The field is only going to start accelerating even more, though. This distance not significant, but is it enough? It just might be. We'll have to see. Bell's ringing for our first set of points. Martinez and Butler hungry to get some more. Parker Stanford, can you come to the secretary area, please? Parker to the secretary over here at the judges stand. Thank you. Wilson's making a big move here. Stephen Wilson's coming over the top. We'll find the first 5. 3 more for Butler and 2 more for Martinez, and this move might start becoming quite a threat. Bowie will find a single point at the end of that one. So Wilson's found 5 more in the previous sprint to bring his total up to 38 points. Not yet enough to crack through to the lead of this race, but getting awfully close as our race leader Andy Baker with 42 points still sitting ahead of him. Bowie found 1 more, bringing his total to 42, which is enough to tie with Baker. So we have a tie at the top, I believe, between Baker and Bowie currently at 42 points apiece after 1 sprint. In the overall standings, I do have it as Baker and Bowie at the top with 42 apiece. 39 points to Russell is good for 3rd. 38 for Wilson's moves him up into 4th place. Emmett Culp is in 5th with 34. There's our top 5 currently. Bell's ringing for Martinez and Butler once again off the front. These guys should form a new team because they want nothing to do with the rest of this field. Race leader Baker and Bowie in the field. It's bib number 3 and number 4. The rider in black and green just behind a teammate is one of those 2 leaders. And Andy Baker's got better space on the track. He's going to try to move up in the front. It's now head-to-head with them. They are watching each other closely in that main field. As you see one move, so does the other. Here comes Martinez for 5 and Butler for 3. The sprint's on for the 2 and the 1. It's going to be Bowie trying to take the lead away from Baker. Bowie finds the 2. Baker's got 1. Martinez, 5 more to his name. Butler found 3 in that last sprint. He's picked up 5 more so far in this event. I got 2 going the way of Bowie and 1 the way of Baker. Bowie taking the lead with 44 points. In second place, Baker with 43. I have Brandon Russell in 3rd with 39. Stephen Wilson's in 4th with 38. And Emmett Culp still at 5th with 34. Omnium results for the Cat 4s are up, as well as results from that last race. Next time around will be a bell, as our leader in the race, John Bowie for Liquid Velo, is right at the front of that field currently. And the lead of the race now back to the field as our lead riders have been swallowed back up. Bell's ringing at 16 to go. Race leader number 3, second place number 4, right at the front of this thing, and they're tight in the points still. Look out for Brandon Russell as well. He's got bib number 6. He needs to start finding some points as he hasn't found any yet in the race, but he is starting to position himself well here. Christian Miller, not too far out of it either. He's been competitive the later in the night we've gone. He now wants to find his first set of 5 here. Miller coming out in the front, the rider in the white. Can he find 5? It'll be Baker 5, Miller 3, Wilson's 2, and I think Brandon Russell might have found his first point of this event. We'll get those numbers rolling here quickly, but Baker doing what he needs to do to get the 5. Relegation to number 25 in the previous sprint for coming down into the sprinter's lane while occupied. 25 relegated in the previous sprint for coming down into the occupied sprinter's lane, removing him from the points in that sprint. One more time. Relegation 25 for entering the sprinter's lane while occupied. Points being updated here. I'll get back to you shortly on that. Baker doing, I think, what he needs to do to take back the lead, though. Baker with 48 finds himself in the lead. Bowie sitting in second with 45. Brandon Russell has moved up with some points. He's got 41. In fourth place is Stephen Wilson's with 38. And Emmett Culp is still back in fifth place at 34 points. So our top 5, we have a couple riders that haven't really gotten many points yet in this event, but just from their earlier efforts are already in the top 5 positions and managing to stay there so far. At 12 to go, the action's moving again as Christian Miller will reaccelerate this field. No bell, but there's one of the riders I was just speaking about. Emmett Culp says, yeah, I know, I got points coming into this. I need to get some here too. So the rider in blue, Emmett Culp with the red bike, is now picking it up as well, trying to find some more points here before he finds himself further down the final standings. Bell's ringing for points at 11 to go. It's Emmett Culp at the front. Brandon Russell is the second rider. John Bowie and Baker are the third and fourth rider in that lineup. Again, they are our Omnium leaders currently. Stephen Wilson's didn't get points that last one. He's disappointed in that, but he still has plenty of power left in his legs. He's going to make another move here to see if he can get some value out of this sprint. Guess who's right there, though? It's still Bowie and Baker. And look out for Nolan Adams, who's also trying to get in on this action. Not in the top 5 currently, but let's go get some points. Wilson's, Bowie, and Baker. Baker finds the acceleration. Bowie for 3. Wilson's for 2. Unofficially, I think it might have been number 6. On the outside, barely nipping Nolan Adams for a single point. I'll wait for confirmation. And actually we'll go Bowie for 3, Brandon Russell for 2, and Stephen Wilson's will get 1 in the previous sprint. We had to go back and look at the camera as it was awfully close for the 2 and the 1 points there. Butler getting the point from the officials, confirming that is the front of our race. That's the rider in the black and purple that just went under the Stanley sign, is now coming into turn 4. As it comes into view of the our great sponsors at the finish line here, our Vision Tech team sponsors. We are disappointed again this year not to be able to offer the Vision Grand Prix, as we had a couple of calendar conflicts, but we are offering some other good special events this year. We'll put together some cool racing programs, don't you worry. More information coming on that in the coming weeks. Butler is well ahead of this field. I have not called his name in the top 5 of the Omnium, which you notice also is probably part of the reason why the field is letting him go a little bit here, as the big names in the field are not too interested in him right now. This lets him get some big advantage over the rest of the field and position himself beautifully. No one wants to do the work to bring him back, so sure, let's get out in front and get some more points and move up these standings. A good move from Butler here at the later laps of the race. At 7 to go. Nolan Adams looking over the right shoulder. It's going to be Bowie and Baker near the front, but both decide to pull up. They have been battling one another, and of course, as Baker goes, so does Bowie, and vice versa. Bell's ringing for more points. Butler wants to find the 5, and he will be able to do so. The Sharks in no man's land currently, so the rider behind him will not be eligible. The field behind them will be looking for the 3 points coming into the sprint. And they sit, look at this, they're up above the blue line. They might just give Butler the chance to catch him. They are not interested in pursuing him in the slightest. At 6 to go, lots of riders in this field are tight on the points, and they're just watching each other. That's where their interest is. They allow Steven Wilsons to get a little bit ahead. He's a little bit down the standings, so both Baker and Bowie are not chasing him down just yet. I'm going to say their names a lot because, again, this is a race for points, so they are being strategic with their power and their usage. Butler just crossed the line. That's 24, getting 5 points. So 5 more for Butler. Here comes Wilsons. Looks like he's well on pace for the 3 points now. The sprint's on for 2 as Bowie and Baker keeping it interesting, but this time it'll be Brandon Russell is the rider in dark green, finding the 1 point. Bowie for 2, and Brando for 1, Brandon Russell. We're almost done with this thing. We've only got 1 left, and it's the big double points. 10, 6, 4, and 2 on the final sprint. And we're 4 laps to go. Andy Baker in the lead with 58 points. After the most recent sprint, it's Bowie in second with 50. Brandon Russell in third with 44. Steven Wilson's now in fourth with 42. The next rider after that is in fifth, Emmett Culp with 34. Nick Martinez, moving his way up from all the earlier points, is at 33 in sixth place. Christian Miller, Nolan Adams, and Kenny Williams make up the next couple of riders. 3 to go as the field's coming into view here on the home straight. The leader is still Butler. Half a track up from the rest of this field, and I mean leader on the track, not in points. A correction to the previous points total for Baker is 53 points currently. Bowie 50. Baker 53. Bowie 50. To update the points totals, my apologies. Leader's getting the bell. It's 10 points to lead the lap, and Butler's got this one all sorted out for sure. 10 more points coming his way. Far enough out of the Omnium standings that he's been allowed to get here, but this will be a big boost to his standings for sure. Couple riders in the chase now as Miller and Darlene have been in a great position trying to chase down this race and allowed to get away as well. Miller in a good spot in the overall standings. He'll enjoy getting 6 points in this sprint. Nolan Adams in the pink is out of the field. And now comes Bowie, Baker, and Culp chasing down. The rider in blue is Culp, leading out both Bowie and Baker, our 2 leaders. Butler finds 10 and waves to the fans and says, all right, got that thing wrapped up. Miller for 6. Darlene for 4, and here comes the sprint for 2. Oh, Bowie will get 2 more points, but you know what? This is how close it is. Baker had a 3-point advantage coming into that. I don't think the 2 points from Bowie will be enough to take Baker out of the International Omnium top spot by a single point. Andy Baker, I think, will be our winner of the Omnium, the overall event for this entire event. Very exciting racing going on here for our Cat 1-2 men, and their final event is now wrapped up. A round of applause for our field here in a fantastic race. Thank you for some exciting action. We appreciate it. Coming up next, the women are about ready to start. I will list off where we are in the Omnium momentarily. Points go like this for the Omnium to the women. Annette Williams with 43, Kelly Darlene 41, Danny Scoville 38, Amara Edwards 35, Ashley Hudson 33, Heather Nielsen 30, Alexandra McLaughlin 29, Alicia Stotts 29, Lucy Gilchrist 24, and Leah Holslander 22.
Okay, ladies, I'm going to roll you out for your 4x5 points race. You're going to start with the points you have accumulated so far. You're going to have 4 sprints, one every 5 laps. Sprints are 5, 3, 2, and 1. Final sprint is double points. You can go ahead and remove your mask. And roll out.
All right, racing underway. 20 laps on the cards, and this is a 4x5. 4 sprints every 5 laps for the conclusion of the International Omnium for our women competitors. Our previous field can look for results on the online folder, velodrome.org/live. Scroll down for the results folder and check your overall standings, both for the Omnium and for the previous race there. All previous races you can check out in the results folder. Annette Williams is the leader in the Omnium for Kenmore Velo Center Cycles team. She has bib 102 on in the dark blue. 2 points trailing is Kelly Darlene for the Jerry Baker Juniors, and Scoville, also the Jerry Baker Juniors team, trailing by 3 more points at 38. Edwards at 4th position with 35 is bib 103 for the Greg's team, and our 5th place rider in the red for Audi is Ashley Hudson, again 33 points. So basically the spread of points is 3 points separate each of the top 5, except between first and second, which is only a 2-point spread of 43 to 41. Seeing 18 to go. Our first bell in this 4x5 would be at 16 to go. So they'll be seeing 17 here momentarily. On deck, Cat 3 is our final event of the weekend. Their conclusion to their Omnium will be coming up after this race. Cat 3 men, our final event upcoming shortly. 17 to go as Annette Williams, our current Omnium leader in the women's field, leads us across the line. Bell's ringing for our first points for women. This event here, we're again adding points to our overall standings that the riders are coming into this with. Leo Holslander making a big move off the front from the looks of it. She might be at the back of this Omnium, but she says, I can be at the front of the field. Make a move. Why not? Alicia Stotts will respond as well. So Stotts now moving into place. Stotts for 5. Williams, I think, will get the 3. Pretty close for the 2 and the 1. That between McLaughlin and Nielsen. It'll go 111, 114 is the bib order for the 2 and the 1 there. So Nielsen for 2 points over McLaughlin for the 1. Our leader with 46 is Annette Williams. Darlene with 41 in second. Scoville in third with 38. In fourth with 35 is Edwards. And in fifth with 34 is Stotts. Our points totals after the most recent sprint. At 12 to go, Darlene, our rider in second in the Omnium, pulls up to the right. Annette, the leader in the Omnium, will follow suit. Here's our bell at 11 to go. Stotts takes the lead spot. Ashley Hudson near the top of the Omniums wants to get in on this. That's the rider in red in the second wheel position now. Darlene, the overall second place rider, is third in that lineup. The neon green gloves. Hudson and Darlene go 5 and 3. Oh, maybe Darlene enough of a little bit of a bike throw. Might need to wait for the confirmation on that one. An exciting finish. We are having to look back at that one to confirm the finish order, so we'll get that one out soon, as it was definitely close. 9 to go. It's going to be Hudson and Darlene now sitting side by side, thinking about partnering up here. Scoville and Williams are a 2-person chase. 6 riders make up the field. Kelly Darlene did get the 5 points on the last one. Hudson found the 3. Annette Williams got 2. And 1 more point went out to Danny Scoville. We'll get those Omnium numbers out here quickly as well. Williams, our leader, with 48. Darlene in second with 46. Scoville in third with 39. Hudson in fourth with 36. Edwards in fifth with 35. Bell's ringing for more points. 2 points still separates Williams and Darlene after all this sprinting's gone on. So 48 and 46 to our race leaders. Scoville holding on to third with 39 as we come into this one. This might be an opportunity for the younger rider, Darlene, to maybe start to separate herself a little bit here. She's found 2 red colleagues to join. Darlene trying to find the 5, and it looks like she's on pace to do so, as it'll be Hudson and Nielsen trying to sort out who gets 3. Hudson for the 3, Nielsen for 2. 1 point for Alicia Stotts from the looks of it. Number 204 picking up the final point in the sprint. That should be enough to give Darlene the outright lead currently, bringing her total up to 51. Williams without points in that one still sits at 48 in second place unofficially. 4 to go. 4 to go. The front of the race is just in front of the chasing riders here. We're almost all back together again. It looks like we have a lead of 3, a chase of 2 about to be brought back in with this field perhaps, and a field of 4 in turn 2. Darlene just trying to separate herself now and doesn't want to have to sprint against the Audi team that's riding down behind her. Cat 3's on your bikes. About time. We're almost there. 3 laps remain. Cat 3's. 3 to go as Darlene still has several bike lengths in front of Nielsen and Hudson, but if they might be able to turn up another notch, they might be able to catch her, but it looks like they're not going to be able to do it before the bell. Maybe they'll find a way as Hudson's now reigniting. Seeing 2 to go. 2 to go. Darlene looks over the right-hand shoulder as she notices that the red squad has found their way up to her. Nielsen and Hudson now close in on her, and we've got a lead group of 3. Likely will be the sprint for 10-6-4 in the very front. Darlene's trying to keep under wraps so she can hold on to this lead in the Omnium. We got a tie between Scoville and Hudson coming into this with 39 points apiece, but Hudson's up track, so she's got advantage. Bell's ringing, 1 to go for the women. Our final lap for the women underway. Darlene looking good here off the front of the field. We'll just go ahead and try to end this thing by getting away from the team Audi riders. And she was ready for this race. She knew what she needed to do, and she made the move when it was needed. Darlene putting it all together here will be our winner in the Omnium as she's going to come across the track with 10 more points behind her. Hudson trying to secure what will likely be a move into 3rd place here overall in the standings, so she'll be able to get up on that international podium. Darlene for 10 will be our winner. 6 points for Hudson should move her up into the podium positions. As I mentioned earlier, Scoville coming across for 4 points will hold on to a top 5 finish. Our athletes will be wrapping things up here. That's their final chance to compete tonight. One more
All right,
athlete finishing up here, folks.
Cat 3 men, you're going to roll out for a 5x5 points race. I'll roll you neutral from the start grid. I will start you with the whistle in turn 4. All together. You've accumulated so far are going to carry over into the points race. You got 5 sprints, every 5 laps. Points are 5, 3, 2, and 1. Double points on the last lap. Go ahead and remove your mask. And you can go ahead and roll out.
And our 5x5 points race. Now just getting underway. I'll announce their Omnium standings as they roll through on the neutral. Isaac Jurassic, number 301, is in the lead with 45 points. Chris Wilson, 306, has 41. Jonathan Levi, with 37 points, number 319, is in third. 303, Peter Snoblin in fourth with 36, is in a tie with Henry Kaiser for fourth as well. The Jerry Baker Jr.'s team, bib 321. After that, we got Carl Pratis with 29, Gene Wainwright, 27, Chris Lind, and David Branson with 26. The whistle sounded for the field. Off we go. In a 5x5, 5 sprints every 5 laps. First bell at 21 to go. $23 to go. Next lap will be our first bell, and you can see the acceleration coming from the group. A couple non-starters here, so our field is a little smaller than we had earlier today, but obviously our race leaders in the Omnium are here to compete. Peter Snoblin at the front of the field before the bell's ringing is in 4th overall. The rider in white pulls out of the way, trying to find a wheel to be on here in this early sprint. Bell's ringing for Gene Wainwright and our Cat 3s. Next time around, 5, 3, 2, and 1. Chris Lind in position, the rider in the black with the yellow helmet. Lind will have to get a lot of points tonight in this event to move up into the standings. It's going to be Kaiser, though, that now tries to make a big move in the opening space he has on the back straight. Chris Wilson, Bounce Cycling, knows he needs to compete in this race and find a way to separate himself from the junior that's been getting him at the line. He does so here. So 5 points should be Chris Wilson's. Jurassic wants to get 3. He'll find it. 2, I think, to Kaiser. 1 to Levi, unofficially. Lyndon Branson off the front. Starting to make some room for themselves here. Neither rider at the top 5 of the Omnium, so. So the order for that first sprint was indeed Chris Wilson. After review, Isaac Jurassic found the 3 points. 21 is Henry Kaiser, picked up the 2. And Bib 319, Jonathan Levi, got the single point. So 1 more point for Levi, 2 more for Kaiser, and 3 more for Isaac Jurassic. Revision to one of our points race results being worked on. So the Elite Men, that is going to be reworked and reposted soon. The current race in front of us, though, as we got 2 riders on the break. And again, this interesting about this points race in the International Omnium is that the riders know how much they have coming into this. And you see these 2 and go, well, they're not in the top 3. So if I'm one of the top 3 riders, I'm like, you know, go for it. Get off the front and get some points. I'm trying to beat this guy over here. So this gets an opportunity for riders that may not have otherwise gotten a little bit of space and an opportunity to move up to do so. So we see that here as both Branson and Lind have not broken the top 5 in the Omnium tonight, but they're going to find points here most likely at 16 to go. They put themselves in a great position. The field not too far behind. Our Omnium leaders are right here. Almost lined up for you in the correct order, nearly. Right in the middle of that is actually our leader, the junior. Moves up in position. He's got the most points coming into the field, and now it looks like he may take the points from the break. They are on the move. Lind is caught in the turn. It'll be Jurassic and Wilson now coming out of the turn. They've been head-to-head several times tonight. Chris Wilson found the first 5. Can he find 5 again? I think he can. Jurassic for 3, Levi for 2, and Kaiser, I think it's the 1. Nice. Getting interesting here between the 2 of them. Again, the junior came in with the advantage, but now after 2 sprints, Wilson's gained 4 more points on his competitor. We'll get those overall standings here soon. All right, confirmed as called for that finish order, gentlemen. Chris Wilson getting the 5 again. Isaac Jurassic left to get 3. Levi got the 2, and Kaiser picked up 1. $12 to go. Snowblin's found himself trying to get away from this lead group of 4. Our field letting Snowblin ride a little bit here. And this is a big gap he's going to be able to open up. So again, this comes down to this, the way this race works is Snowblin is not currently top 3. Top 3 is all there in that straight currently and allowing the race to get away from them, as Snowblin will be able to find some points here for sure. 5 points likely wrapped up for Snowblin, and see if we can find some more. Next time around, Peter looking for the 5. Our field will be fighting over 3. Snowblin on the back straight, coming through turns 3 and 4 now, is our leader in position. The field, Henry Kaiser takes the front spot down the back straight and trying to find 3 points for himself. 5 more for Snowblint. And he's a rolling and will likely find more here. Out of the field, Jurassic looking for 3, 2 for Kaiser, and 1 for Levi. Wherever you are, Bowie, we're going to want you back for podium pictures here soon. Mr. Bowie, wherever you're at. Right now, we've got 10 to go here, so we're going to want the pictures after this. We'll do a couple more podium finishes for our Omniums after racing's done. Just a few more podiums to take. Love to have you stick around for those. Riders. Nothing to see as a spectator, don't worry. All right, I'm about to get these Omnium points here. It looks to be Isaac Jurassic in the lead with 54 points. And second is Chris Wilson with 51. Peter Snowblin with 41 points is in third now. They let him get away, and he may find a way to lap this field. This could be interesting. 8 to go. The field has to do some work as Snowblin's now in a tie for third with 2 other riders as Levi, Kaiser, and Snowblin all at 41 points. Good move for Snowblin. He's going to be able to win this thing maybe. If you want our solo warrior here to win, you got to make some noise as he comes by. What a great move by him, and this field was way too occupied with itself to notice. Snowblin's earning his gold stripes this evening. Maybe enough to win it. We'll see. Field C7. Next lap, we'll get a bell. Here comes the bell for our leader, Snowblin. Give him some help, folks. He's on the chase. He wants this bad tonight. It's going to be 5 more points, and depending how the field sprints, he's going to start finding himself moving up quickly. I don't know. He's got, 13 points to catch Jurassic. He's going to need a lot, and he's going to need Jurassic to not get too many. That's a tall order. Bell's ringing for the field. It's Kaiser on the move. 3 points at the line next time. Snowblin getting some help here. He gets the 5. Caught the field sleeping, and he's putting in a great effort here. He continues to be able to see the riders on his same side of the field, or same side of the track. They're now accelerating, but we'll see what they do after the sprint. Coming in for the points, it'll be Jurassic, the wrong guy for Snowblin. Jurassic finds 3, Kaiser 2, and Wilson 1. The current Omnium winner just found 3 more, or leader got 3 more points in the last sprint, but Snowblin got 5. 4 to go for Peter. They are sitting up a little bit. Field seeing 4, and our leader just now coming on the home straight will be seeing 3 to go. Leader on the pack here is Snowblin getting some encouragement. They're trying to put some wind in his sails. Oh, man. Come on, folks. Oh, man. He's done it! They let him catch. Snowblin makes it back into the field and should be awarded 20 points immediately for his efforts. He should take the lead outright with that maneuver. 2 to go. Lapping the field. Caught sleeping a little bit, maybe. I didn't want to get on mic and call that one too much. Snowblin could see his target, and he just rolled it in. Oh, man. As it stands, that should move him immediately into the lead of the race. I'll look to see where we are here in a moment. That is one to go. One to go. Our new leader in position is going to be Chris Lind. So he gets the one to go. And now Snowman's not done. He says, I got more power. Let's just keep going. I hate sprinting, but I'm going to go fast here. I pretty much got the victory here, but what happens if someone else gets 10, it might still change up our order here. So I'm waiting for the points to update because I don't have them. But we'll see. Snowman with 66, Jurassic with 57. What's it going to be here to the line? Snowman obviously says, I just don't have enough for this one. 10 points though to Lynn. That'll mess things up. 6 points to Jurassic, 4 to Levi, and 2 to Kaiser. What does it do if we give 6 more points to Jurassic? Guess what? 57 plus 6 is not enough to take away 66 from Snowblin, our winner. Unofficially. All right, that was fun. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate you all being here and sticking with us. We're going to try to take some more podium pictures for athletes that did get up on the podium, so please don't take off too soon. Thanks for those of you who are still here that were cheering all the way at the end. Appreciate you being with us and helping our athletes out across their racing this weekend. It made a huge difference. Thanks, everybody, for some great racing. Yes, that's right. Thank you, Cat 3s, for an exciting finish. Stick around for those Omnium pictures, please. The Omnium pictures, the podium pictures, excuse me, will be taken here shortly. So stick around if you've got to be on the podium. Thank you very much. And thanks, everybody, for a fantastic evening, this beautiful night of racing. We have so appreciated this kickoff evening and weekend. Regular season's here, folks. 2021 track is back. Thanks, everybody, for making it out here, making this all happen. Our officials, our volunteers, and our staff here making the race a possibility. Look forward to hosting you again for more racing here at the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome.